Hello, everyone. Yeah, I'm saying there's no audio.
Oh my god. Oh. I bet you can hear that now. You can hear me now? Please tell me you can hear me now. Come on. So, all that speech has just gone down the drain. Anyway, okay. So I'll restart. And Samuel, we'll get to that in just a sec. That's got to be a gotcha. It was like the greatest speech ever as well. It's like so good. But anyway, I'll restart because I guess I have to at this point. Um, so I was supposed to release another piece of news today. Oh, 1 second before I actually do that. Oreo, don't you dare. My kids are still up, so they're making noise around there, so I just had to close the door. So I was supposed to release a video today talking about what Jez Corden was saying, and it's actually a good video. It then dived into a couple of social influencers like Tim Dog, who has now completely gone off the rails. He is having a complete mental breakdown. He is feeling betrayed. But I think what people need to understand, even if Xbox Era is coming out with this information, until Microsoft come out and say this is happening, it's all rumors. Despite everything coming up towards against it, it is still rumors. So do take that as like I am. That's how I'm going to be perceiving it until it's officially announced. However, I actually re-recorded my video to publish before this stream, and then more news came out. More news that actually kind of annoyed me. And again, there's no real confirmation on this news, but at the same time, we're about to go in for a wild ride. So I do hope you all enjoy it. But yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people out there now suffering from severe mental breakdowns. And what I will say to you all, it's just games. Your mental wealth is worth more, right? You can get upset, you can get angry, but what's happening to Tim Dog right now is seriously concerning. Like, I'm actually genuinely concerned for his personal safety. Don't go that deep off the end, because it's gonna go crazy right now. And if you get triggered easily, stay off social media. But as you can see here, this was the promise, that this was what they basically said on Twitter at the FTC. These games would remain exclusive to Xbox. Phil Spencer also said that anything that's from ZeniMax Bethesda will go to Game Pass only. I am joined by Steve. I introduced him at the beginning. Please, Steve, say hello.
People.
Um, but you know, games like Hi-Fi Rush, which would feature onto this left section, Call of Duty's on the right, they were always going to go to multiplat. So we always knew that there were going to be games that were first party that would go elsewhere. But these tentpole games were the ones that we were told that would never go. Now, of course, as you're all aware, this article has came out. Dark Vortex says the FTC argued that Nintendo wasn't competition for PlayStation and Xbox because it wasn't a premium console. If Xbox leaves the console industry, then who competes with PlayStation? At that point, they have a monopoly. And do you know what? The whole of this making is the FTC's fault. There is no one else here that is to blame for this. Microsoft has some blame. But the FTC, by them forcing Microsoft, despite them spending $69 billion to force their games and force their products onto other platforms, that was a huge blow for Microsoft. So the FTC has a huge part to play in this. And right now, Lena Khan is going to be sitting in her chair, laughing her head off. And I'm going to guess she's going to get a few unsettling emails and stuff. I hope no one does from this community sends her anything. I really hope you're all not that far gone. But you can bet your life that she's going to be getting some very, very unsettling messages coming her way. Delclay, a lot is happening. Bunty, how's it going? Aussie fan, as long as the Game Pass is there, I could care less about them going to PlayStation. I was saying that to Steve as well just a little while ago, right? At the end of the day, as long as you've got Game Pass and you're on the platform, nothing for you actually changes. Tim Dog has just been on Iron Lord's podcast. He says he's finished. Mate, great. If you saw him on Twitter today, his mental state was all over the place. He's fine? Okay. I was actually genuinely worried for his safety. The way he was going today, I actually thought he was, his mental health was just going all over the place. No point in owning a PlayStation. So as we can see here, this part over here, for many weeks now, rumors have persisted regarding Microsoft's intentions to release a number of first-party games, namely Hi-Fi Rush and Sea of Thieves on rival platforms, according to our sources who have asked to remain anonymous because they were not authorized to talk about the company plans. That list also includes Bethesda game studio Starfield. Now, how true is this? How real is this? We'll only find out when Microsoft comes out and expresses their plans. But what's clear here is the release cadence, if there is going to be one. And that release cadence is here. This is where you find out the release date on PlayStation 5. As already existing rumors have suggested, the idea of bringing first-party titles to competing console platforms marks a massive change in strategy for Microsoft. And from what I understand, it's not been without fierce internal debate. No, that's not the part I'm looking for. It's, where is it? Okay, here it is. According to the sources, we understand that currently Microsoft are planning to launch for Starfield on PlayStation 5 post-release of the already announced Shattered Space expansion for Xbox PC, which is on target to arrive at some point later this year. This tells me that if Starfield is landing on PlayStation, if it's landing, it will be in September. It's going to be in September. It won't be earlier than September. It will be the full 1 year exclusive timed. And by that point, the game should be in a working fixed state, so there should be no more bugs left in the game. I actually am not happy about this. If this is the case, it's not great. Why buy these studios and not give them 5-10 years to associate the games with Xbox? It's not a 1-2 year thing. It takes time. They have the money, games, tech finally compete. Dark Vortex, it's quite simple. This year, Microsoft with ZeniMax did 6% in sales growth. Activision Blizzard on its own did 43% sales growth. The suits above, I believe Phil and Sarah did fight to keep these games exclusive. That's my opinion. Phil and Sarah are both fighting to keep these exclusive. However, the ones above them, the Tim Stewarts, the Satya Nadellas, the suits, the investors, they saw that 43% and said, man, just keeping this on Xbox and PC, we made 6%. But putting it on PlayStation as well, we're making 46%. They like that 43%, right? They like that 43% because that's money. And at the end of the day, all Microsoft cares about is money. We've known this for a while. I've been saying this for ages. That's just that's all these companies care about. But they're giving away their games. It makes no sense. They're not giving it for free. They're still going to be $70 on the other platforms, and they're still going to sell, and they're going to make their money. But it's not going to come day and date on the other platforms. You will get them day and date on Xbox or on Game Pass PC, and you will have them pretty much for 6 months to a year as a timed exclusive. Now, if that 6 months to a year doesn't matter to you, and you're happy to wait and buy your games for $70, and they do turn around and say, right, all of ZeniMax games are eventually going to go there. All Activision Blizzard games are going to go there. The only games that aren't going are Halo, Gears of War. Then that's a decision that you're going to have to make eventually, whether you still want to stick with the Xbox console or just go to PC and get a PlayStation. But at this moment in time, all they've spoken about is Starfield, and we're going to get to the other games soon. But there's no mention of any of the actual Microsoft Game Studios titles, like Hellblade, that are made within Microsoft Game Studios, like Halo, like Forza, like Gears of War. None of these have surfaced, and eventually when they come out and tell us what the fuck is going on, at that point we will have some idea of what the fuck they're doing. Because at the moment, like you all, I'm a little frustrated as well. I can imagine Steve here is frustrated, who's seething, and it's not nice. Considering those people that stuck by the brand since the Xbox One days and supported them through probably the worst period of the Xbox, to be slapped in the face like this just isn't a nice feeling. And, they need to come out. Like, I know in this article, they said they'll be out by the end of the month or sometime this month. I said 4 weeks, so it is within this month. That's what I was predicting in yesterday's stream. And that's what I see. IGN is going to have a field day with this. Oh, IGN is going to be posting Elder Scrolls is confirmed for PlayStation 6 without a shadow of doubt. That's going to happen. That's going to be their messaging pivot, I'm assuming. The value in Xbox console will be Game Pass day and date. So as long as they continue making consoles, I'll buy them. And Arthur, at the end of the day, what I was telling Steve earlier, and Steve can confirm this, what I said was, as a consumer of Xbox, if they do release another console, which I'm assuming they will, as a gamer yourself, as a consumer yourself, if you're subscribing to Game Pass, for you, nothing changes. And the only people this is really going to affect, as hard as this is for you to hear, is about 5% of the gaming, the Xbox community. The other 95% couldn't care less. And as I was saying earlier to Steve, the reality is that 95% doesn't know who Phil Spencer is, doesn't know who Sarah Bond is, doesn't know who Peter Hines is. Hell, they don't even know who 16 times the detail is. But the moment I'm saying these things, you already know who I'm talking about. So you are the market that's going to be potentially affected. But the overall majority will look at Game Pass and say, hey, I don't care, I'm getting a day and date. If I asked my son if he was awake right now, I guarantee you, without a shadow of doubt, he will say exactly the same thing. But for the more loyal, the more diehard fans, this is a better pill to swallow if true. Weird how they are now begging for every Xbox game. Yeah. I'm going full PC. Microsoft killed the Xbox brand. That is going to be a massive sentiment. Dubs, yeah, I've just cancelled my Game Pass too. I don't see the need to cancel Game Pass. Nothing has changed for you. Are you happy to pay $70 for a game instead of getting it on your subscription? If so, then PC is always there. The end of the day, the PlayStation community are not going to buy the Xbox games, but use it as a bragging right and make the Xbox community look stupid. Now, that's going to be a big thing, Samuel, right? If they do sell, then that's going to give them even more of a foothold in this debate. But if they don't sell, then Microsoft is going to look really, really stupid. Like, really stupid. Like I told people at my job, keep shoveling crap into the house and then you blame everyone else for the crap in your house. Meaning, continue to let your fans down. Don't be shocked by what happens. Yep. I don't think IGN will get much in future. It's a dying brand that's recognized. Well, that's to be seen. If Starfield lands on PlayStation, then Indie and Blade will too. Well, we're about to get to that. You know what's funny, Chaos? This undermines their whole reasoning for buying Bethesda. Bingo. And that's what I said in my video that I was going to post. They bought Bethesda for this exact reason, to keep Starfield exclusive, because Sony were taking it away from them. But this also explains why Microsoft hasn't been money had to third-party exclusives. Like, the strategy of Microsoft has been changing yearly, it seems. No one knows what they're doing. They're not really disclosing any information. Only God knows what's happening in there. But, it does seem like the suits have taken over. Dude, this is wild. The critics are going to give the PS5 version a 90+. I mean, it's going to be fixed, right? It's going to have all of those bug fixes already in place. When you go to Atlantis, you're not going to have people looking at you like this. They're going to be looking at you like a normal human being when they're walking around. Textures are going to be upped because they're still working on it. They've still got like almost another year to, get the game in a much better state. It almost feels like, us as Xbox gamers, we're beta testers. But I'm not going to get into that just now. You're right, Arthur. One can understand why it has to be Bethesda games. Bethesda couldn't make Starfield work on PS5. I mean, of course they could. There's absolutely no reason why they couldn't. This is about the CEO's bonuses and shareholders. Aussie fan, 100%. This is exactly what I said. And earlier today in my Discord, I actually asked that same exact question. And I was told, no, it's got nothing to do with that. But I said, do you think the suits have seen that 43% that came from Activision Blizzard and their eyes just saw dollar signs and then decided, right, this is now the thing? The suits are dumb. Bulk of Activision's money comes from gas, live service, and most of Bethesda games are single player. It's not a straight comparison. No one said the suits are smart. All they know is money, right? I know, but they're going to kill the brand. Yes and no. They are going to weaken the brand, 100%. If they give away their real exclusives for years and years, then Xboxes are truly done. If this is real, Starfield is going. Sony will get their 30% cut, which will be used to further bolster third-party exclusivity, thus taking away from Xbox's market. Oh yeah, this is a self-cannibalization. There's no two ways about this. This is a self-cannibalization, and it is primarily the FTC's fault. Because if the FTC was not so hell-bent on trying to destroy Microsoft, this probably wouldn't have happened. At the same time, if Microsoft didn't buy Activision Blizzard, this probably wouldn't have happened either. But after buying Activision Blizzard, spending $70 billion, which they made about $100 billion plus in assets anyway, so it's not like they've lost money, but that revenue that came in from Activision that they saw, that clearly lit a furnace in people. Jez just confirmed Halo is coming to PS5. I wouldn't. Like I said, these are all
It's all
these
conjecture.
it's all conjecture. It's all rumors. I don't, Jez doesn't work for Microsoft. None of these people work for Microsoft. Until Microsoft come out and say, this is happening, then, for me, it's just going to be a rumor. But I will say, like I said to Steve, in chat on Discord. The arguments and the evidence is mounting very high. Go PC, get the best of both worlds. Xbox is done, bro. I mean, it's not looking good. I'm gonna go look at Jez in a minute, but I just cancelled mine. I regret nothing. It's bloody nuts. They stayed quiet on these rumors too long. Yeah, Derek, they did. They sat on this way too much. And if they thought that this information, if it was real, if it is real, it's a big if. I'm still going with if because it's not confirmed. But if it is real, it's done, right? It's done. A lot of people are going to jump ship. The casuals won't because they don't care. Like I said, they don't know the difference between Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond. But the people that do care, like the people in this chat, a lot of them, they are going to be jumping ship. Microsoft doesn't need PlayStation, and to make more money, it's all the head Microsoft doing this. Yep. Even my PlayStation friends think Xbox is being... Everyone thinks Xbox is being stupid. Not a single person thinks they're being smart. FTC could have told them to put games on PlayStation. That was a case-by-case basis. But that was not their first party. How is this not Microsoft's fault? How is it anyone else's? The FTC has a huge part to play in this, no, Derek? If the FTC didn't force Microsoft to put ABK games on PlayStation, force them to put ZeniMax game, start telling them that you need to put ZeniMax games onto PlayStation, this would, would Microsoft have gone down this route? Not really. I mean, I don't think they would have. As a diehard Xbox fan who would ever buy an Xbox when all it gets you is missing Sony first party exclusives, you get everything with PlayStation. You do, but you also pay for everything. This is Microsoft with Mixer all over again, but with Xbox. I mean, that's what it's starting to look like, yeah. Phil is on his way out. It's over, and that's a shame. Xbox is the downfall of Xbox. Yeah, I mean, they're inherently cannibalizing themselves, but again, we'll see. They had 20 billion in the bank before Microsoft bought them. They did. They had a lot of money. Going with if, yet spreading misinformation for engagement, unsubbed. Okay, bye-bye, Jarlis. Fuck off, piss off. I don't give a shit. In fact, I'm going to ban you as well. Let me go ban you. Where is he? There you are. Fuck off, you're gone. I mean, there is literally no misinformation on my tweet, on my banner. I said, is this? It's a question. Mate, just go fuck yourself. I don't care. Anyway. I'm not here to fuck around with babies anymore. If you don't like my content, just go away. So if this is true, only PlayStation is allowed to keep screwing gamers, but Xbox have to bend over for PlayStation. This is a funny prison joke. Yep. Trying to sell that all-digital version Xbox now will be extremely hard. Well, that got nuked, didn't it? That's not actually coming. They've already said that that's thing. It's definitely FTC reacting to the purchase. I really think Starfield was made for both consoles. I mean, the FTC trial is still going on, so that is still an issue. And, we don't know what's happening in there. None of that is actually live anymore. So it's all behind closed doors. My father introduced me to the Xbox console in 21, and Xbox Series X will be my last console if this is true. And I was looking forward to doing the same thing for my kids. But at the end of the day, like I said, Samuel, you'll still get your games day one. By the way, sorry for my outburst a little second ago. Attitudes like that really, really just trigger me. I think I've been quite honest, quite fair, quite open. I'm still not, saying that this is fully the case. My thumbnail didn't say that it is going to PlayStation. What exactly have I been giving misinformation on? What exactly did I give misinformation on? Did I give any misinformation, Steve?
No, you're just reporting on what's been reported.
Jez reported this earlier, so this is where my video actually started with the alienating the fans and stuff. But Tom Warren has decided that this is the scoop he's going to come out with, and like I said, this is going to be wildfire now. Microsoft is considering bringing Indiana Jones to PS5 several months after Xbox PC release is part of a new Xbox strategy. Now, whether this is true or not, again, is conjecture, is thing. Bethesda's upcoming Indiana Jones game is also tentatively set to launch on Sony's PlayStation 5 console. We got our first glimpse of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle during Microsoft's Xbox Developer Direct event last month, where it was announced for Xbox and PC. A source familiar with Microsoft plans tell The Verge that Bethesda... I mean, everyone's got a source these days to come out and give information. I think the biggest one is going to be Reforged, right? My dude is going to come out singing and screaming that he finally got something right. A new multi-platform approach for certain Xbox games is emerging inside Microsoft, we're told, with the company weighing up which titles will remain exclusive and others that will appear on Switch or PS5 in the future. See, that's interesting, right? That right there is interesting.
That could still mean the flagship stay exclusive.
See, that's interesting. We're told within the company, weighing up titles which will remain exclusive and others that will appear on Switch or PS5. You know what? Let's do that. Let me quickly do that. All right. It's done. I've changed. Even though there was a question mark at the end, so that should have still been a dead giveaway that this isn't true. There's no clickbait there. Just people stupid. But I think this part here is really important, right? A new multi-platform approach for certain Xbox games is emerging inside Microsoft. We're told with the company weighing up which titles will remain exclusive and others that will appear on Switch or PS5 in the future. Indiana Jones appears to be part of this new multi-wave games. Now, this could be simply due to the contract that Marvel imposes. They're not going to sell enough. I mean, I think that's a given. They're going to get the Game Pass money, maybe, if that's how it works. Don't really know. They've got their thing. So that might be part of the reason why this is going to go. I'm just spitballing here. That's what I said to some PlayStation fans. I think there'll be the third party and indie games gone. Hi, good people. Not sure how much I've missed, but maybe if all this is true, the suits have taken over now and that all the hard work is done, which is similar to what is happening to Sony also. Certain games, that just means Bethesda and ABK basically. Right. That's what I was understanding that as well, Kubini. But we're gonna get to Cobril or Jez about Halo. But Jez says a lot of shit that, you know, he says just to trigger people. While Bethesda will launch its Indiana Jones game first as an Xbox console exclusive, it's currently set to have a rather short period of exclusivity, we're told. A release for PlayStation is being considered for some months later. So it's considered. It's not confirmed. It's not even planned. It's being considered. That means nothing. I can consider, you know, taking my top off right now and dancing for you all. Doesn't mean I'm going to do it. Nope, I'm still not going to do it. With Bethesda tentatively targeting a December 2024 launch for the Xbox and PC versions. Exact timing and platform availability for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle could change, particularly as Microsoft's new multi-platform approach for Xbox games hasn't been finalized. Microsoft has been evaluating bringing certain Xbox exclusives to PS5, Nintendo, and Nintendo Switch in recent months. Sea of Thieves and Hi-Fi Rush have both been reportedly under cross-platform consideration because if we look at this, they would fall under this left side here. Sea of Thieves isn't as big as Call of Duty or Minecraft. It would probably fall under where Fallout 76 is, and Hi-Fi Rush would fall under the same bracket as Psychonauts. So those games actually make sense. you know, but that being PlayStation and that being Switch, you know, that's just dumb. If it's going to happen, I'm not going to fall for a picture like that. We're told that a Hi-Fi Rush announcement for non-Xbox platforms is expected in the coming weeks. Data mined game assets hinted at a release for PS5 and Nintendo Switch earlier this week. Xbox Era also reporting on the Microsoft planning to bring Starfield this week. Xbox Era is also reporting on Microsoft. Yeah, we're doing that. Last year, we learned during the FTC Microsoft case that Indiana Jones and the Great Circle was originally planned for multi-console. Pete Hines, Bethesda's former head of global publishing, testified that Disney had a contract for multiple consoles and that the deal was amended to be an Xbox exclusive after Microsoft acquired Bethesda. Hines put the change down to potential delays in bringing the game to multiple consoles, adding that you're dealing with a licensor who's going to have a ton of feedback on what you're making. Add a lot of time to your schedule. An Indiana Jones launch on PS5 would certainly be a surprise, but we're still told there's still an intense debate internally at Microsoft over which Xbox games to bring to rival consoles. It now looks like Microsoft has settled down on Xbox titles making their way to PS5 and Nintendo Switch, but like I said last month, the devil will be in the details. So this Indiana Jones thing isn't confirmed. At the end of the day, they are considering, but when they say there is a fierce debate internally, I can pretty much assure you it's Phil Spencer, it's the likes of Matt Booty, it's the likes of Sarah Bond, who are fighting to keep these games on the Xbox console. Whereas the likes of Satya Nadella's, the CFOs, are trying to push this, and the investors are trying to get this thing. You must disagree? What are you disagreeing with? Sea of Thieves is not a niche audience. There's no microtransactions in that game. There is no microtransactions in that game, right? No microtransactions. So how are they making money? How is Sea of Thieves making money if there is zero microtransactions in that game? How does No Man's Sky make money? They sell more copies. But on Xbox, they don't sell copies because it's part of Game Pass. So that's a problem. Has it got a store now? I was told that it doesn't have a microtransaction store. All right, let's see. Was it Clobril that you guys said? Or was it Jez?
I think they mentioned Jez.
Someone at Xbox activated Order 66. It's going to be Jez. Paris, the brand is dead. The community is shattered. They sold us down river. Every one of us bought the Xbox for fools. Comments like these are why we need a clear and concise message from leadership. And this is what I told Paris when I spoke to him personally myself. This needs to happen. Because when I spoke to Paris on Discord, this is one of the things I clearly said. It has to happen. And they're not doing it. But I think everyone is a fool, but leadership... I don't think anyone is a fool, but leadership does need to show why you should own Xbox hardware now and in future generations if exclusivity is no longer the strategy moving forward. If there's no exclusives, then that's going to be a problem. Xbox will officially become the console to beta test PlayStation games so they can release polished with extra content on PS5 later. Hayabusa, no. Sea of Thieves has cosmetics to buy and a lot of it. Okay. Then that makes even more sense for it to go to multiplat, right? Sell even more. Wonder how long they known but kept silent. Honestly, if it's real, because I still don't think it's real, but if it is real, they wouldn't have known too long about it. They would have been on that shit straight away. Where is the Halo news? Whichever side of the coin you fall on with this exclusive stuff, the damage that's being done to the community and how this has been allowed to spiral over the past few weeks is hugely irresponsible of the Xbox leadership. A fan base has been purposefully built and is crumbling. I mean, yeah, you know, they say Rome wasn't built in a day, but it certainly was crumbling in a day. PlayStation fans may have cause to celebrate. Starfield and other Xbox exclusives reportedly set sights on PS5 as Xbox Series XS PC sales seemingly are no longer enough. That's the Starfield. Looks like it's approaching where I switch from Xbox to PlayStation as my games console of choice. Oh, there it is. You'll see Halo on PlayStation eventually, I reckon. That's nothing. The first of lots to come. Some will shock you. Being able to pin windows to areas from your... Oh, this is just something different. That's Tim having a breakdown. Yeah, so I'm not seeing anything. Let's have a look at this article. Is the death of Xbox exclusives games nigh? The end of Xbox exclusive is nigh. I guess this is the TLDR. Rumors are swirling that Xbox is gearing up to end its console exclusives games runs with a wide array of titles slated to hit its main console rival Sony's PlayStation 5. Sea of Thieves and Hi-Fi Rush have both been rumored for the multi-platform treatment owing to both games' saturation on Xbox and PC. See, if the games never went day and date to PC, the only way people could have played these games was Xbox. That was it. And that would have pushed the console sales. Their idea that they could maximize their sales by going PC as well was stupid. Because what you want is to sell the Xbox console so you can sell Game Pass. And by going to PC, no one is buying off their PC store. People are only using their subscription service to play it. Everyone is going to Steam. And sure, they're making money off there. Only 70%. Oh, is he? He did the same with Activision Blizzard deal. Jez does this shit all the time just to rile people up. I mean, it gets clicks, right? It gets clicks. He does it all the time. I mean, that doesn't mean anything. Now, will Blade be a timed exclusive? I would say yes at this point. If all of this is true, yes. I still don't believe it until I see it. But if this is true, if the rumors are true, and, you know, everyone is going to be saying something now, and social media is going to be a cesspool for anyone that's an Xbox fan for the next few days, weeks maybe, until Xbox decides to come out. But do you know what? It's not going to be a fun place. But I still don't see Microsoft coming out and saying anything. Like, at the end of the day, all these rumors have come out. Why are you not coming out to set the record straight? The only reason I can think of is that A, they're still fighting inside, or B, they don't have the balls to come out and confront their community. What happened to RDX podcast? Sully, from what I've heard, and I'm going to keep this brief, Dealer has been going through a bad time. He's not been well, or he's had personal problems, to be exact, and he's just basically been unavailable. And until he gets everything back in order, he's not going to be doing any RDX podcasts. Looks like the ABK deal made them realize the money they're losing. Inferno, that's exactly what it did. That's exactly what it did. And, you know, Microsoft's vision of, hey, we're going to go to PC day and day, and that's going to make more people sign up to Game Pass, it didn't work. All it did was it slowed Game Pass sales down. Because at the end of the day, if games like Elder Scrolls 6, Starfield, Halo, you name it, were all exclusive to the Xbox console on its own. If it was exclusive to the Xbox console on its own, and you couldn't play it on PC or the cloud or all this, and you could only play it on that home console, the only place to play it would be to be able to, you'd have to go and buy an Xbox console. But by going to PC, they've cannibalized it. That was their first mistake. And everyone here knows that I've been saying this for a while. It's not that I hate Steam. I use Steam all the time. I use the Epic Game Store. I use the GOG launcher, very little. I use Ubisoft Connect. I've got no allegiance to any launcher or stuff like that. I think it's stupid. But going day and date to PC was a problem. You're welcome, Sully. Look, I have Starfield. I'm close to level 30. And that is good, dude. This stuff isn't true, guys. Nothing to worry about. Twisted, I don't know if it's true. Like I've been saying, if it's true, I will always go with the word if, because nothing is confirmed. The idiots over at Microsoft have to come out and start to address this. They do. There is no way that they can not address this now. They need to come out soon because, well, once they start seeing people cancelling their Game Pass subscriptions, I'm sure they're going to come out in a flurry to thing. But all this is doing, and this is something that me and Steve were discussing before the stream, is it's absolutely crippled. It's crippling. It's crumbling the brand that they've built since 2001. Since the original inception of the original Xbox, they've been building this brand that has been going strong. It suffered during the Xbox One era. We all know that. That was a bad decision with the whole DRM thing. It didn't work. And they suffered greatly. But I think they rebuilt it. Like, what's the point in investing in Japan and all of this if you're going to go third party? What's the point in, creating these studios? It doesn't add up. They need to reverse some of the stuff, 6 months exclusive to console, then release it to PC, exclude PlayStation. Like Special Nick was saying, the Xbox is the core platform. The console is the core platform. But Microsoft has been trying to elude that by saying, play anywhere. But if you want to sell Game Pass, the easiest way to sell Game Pass is to sell an Xbox console. Because if that person buying the Xbox console is going to sign up to Xbox Live, they're either going to go with the $60 a month or the $12.99 a month. And the majority will go with $12.99 if they want to play online, because they just get such a big catalog with it. It doesn't make sense to me. If Halo Infinite comes to the PS5, Microsoft might as well close down the whole Xbox brand. I can't see those games going over there. Even if the ZeniMax and ABK ones are potentially on the cards, there is no indication that actual Microsoft Game Studios games are going over. You're saying, Froggy, the console market isn't growing, yet PlayStation has, 60 million consoles? 65 million now? They had 50 million last year, so they've sold another, 10 million now? Switch is still selling like hotcakes. The only console that isn't selling is Xbox. Because you can go buy an Asus ROG Ally and play your Xbox. You can buy a £200 Chromebook and play an Xbox. You can play it on your PC. You can play it on your phone. You can play it on your TV. By doing this, you've cannibalized your sales of your platform. Now, had they have done what someone in chat just suggested, all the games come to Xbox as a console 6 months before they go to PC, that would have given people a reason to go buy an Xbox. And you buy an Xbox, you buy a Game Pass with it, happy days. It works hand in hand. Phil just became public enemy number 1, even though I don't think it's his fault. It could very well be his fault. But I think it's the suits that are trying to push this through. PC and mobile can be larger, but it's not pushing Game Pass. Mobile is, will be pushing Game Pass, but Microsoft want mobile for different reasons. I was told today about a couple of games that are being developed by Microsoft first-party studios for mobile. That's what they wanted mobile for. You'll hear about them soon, in about a month or two. One of them is weird, by the way. I don't even know if it's going to sell or not. It could potentially flop straight out the door. What's the time? There's more substance to Microsoft handheld than losing exclusivity games. There is. Let's just look at devil's advocate, right? Let's look at devil's advocate. What if Microsoft done this purposefully? They're not smart enough, but what if they did this purposefully by feeding certain people information to see who would leak that information to the press? That would be a true power play move, but I don't think Microsoft has the brains for that. Because that would be an easy way to find out who's backstabbing you in the company. I won't buy PlayStation, yeah, so I guess I'm PC only. TheChaosLounge, nobody knows what Xbox is in Africa, but they know PlayStation and Nintendo. Xbox has a global brand image. That is true. That is true. Even in Northern Cyprus, everyone wants a PlayStation. They're willing to buy a PlayStation 4 before they're willing to buy a Series S. Xbox just needs to cancel the PC release and make it full Xbox exclusive. Yeah, they just won't do that. That's what they should have done originally. This is what I've been saying with the third party, and a lot of, some of you have been really dogpiling on me when I was saying what they need to do with those third parties is get those third party contracts in, make it exclusive to the Xbox console only with a 6-month exclusivity before it goes to PC, or a year exclusivity, and then it can go multi-platform. But they needed something. They needed a unique selling point, and right now they don't have one. And by doing this, they're losing even that unique selling point. The only thing they have now is Game Pass. And buying a remaster station. I agree that these rumors are true. Phil Spencer is going to have a hard time at interviews going forward. He ain't going to be interviewing going forward. Or they want to see the reaction to this decision. Anime, it could be anything, right? All of this could be complete bullshit. And it's just a test to see how the community will react, how it's going to act. But at the same time, like I said to Steve right at the beginning, if you are an Xbox game console owner, you have Game Pass Ultimate. Outside of the fact that you're going to have the knowledge that other platforms aren't getting the games, nothing changes for you. And that sucks. I'm not going to say it's good. That sucks. But it is what it is. Let's see what's happening here. Why everyone is wrong. Well, this is going to sour real quick. That came out 2 hours ago. That's a wasted video because hey, Power Boss. Man. God, do you think they're scrabbling right now? Right now, they're seeing the fire melting down. They are all over the place. Hey, Justin Mills. Thank you for that 3-month membership. I appreciate you, dude. PC Game Pass has led Xbox players like me onto PC. Yeah, I can see that. Totally. Dude, I game on my PC a lot because this is like my little corner, my little man cave. But I've got 5 kids. One of them is abroad. I've got 4 kids here, and they use my PC to do their homework and stuff. And as you can imagine, they're all over me all the time. So I game a lot on my Xbox because of that. So I actually still like my Xbox, but this is it's a bitter pill to swallow. 23 times the evidence is everywhere. Well, at least it's not 16 times the detail, Fang Foom. At least we've got that to thing. I'm not jumping ship. I have nowhere to jump. PlayStation peaked with the PS2. Nintendo is a weak brand. Nintendo is probably the strongest out of everyone. Xbox is failing. It's just business. Spencer is a boss too. Xbox in Phil Spencer DMs right now. Yeah. I've seen so many people turn against Sarah Bond and Phil Spencer, all based on rumors and speculation. Look, MJ Hernandez, I get it. It's all thing. But Microsoft not coming out and getting ahead of this is stupid. Powerboss, to give it a TLDR, we spoke about this, and then the fact that Starfield has been rumored to be confirmed as coming to PlayStation, and if it is coming, it's going to come in September this year. Again, it's rumors. Ignore that. Indiana Jones apparently is being considered. I mean, this headline here says that it's coming to PlayStation, but the article, which was this is pure clickbait. The article is basically saying that it's being considered coming to PlayStation after 3 months or 6 months, a really short period. And I banned someone on YouTube and told them to fuck off because they pissed me off.
That's what I was saying earlier. People are just going to read the headlines. They're not going to read the article, and they're going to go.
And that's why I said I wanted to jump on and set the record straight. I don't care if it's the weekend. This is a PR nightmare. Right now, you get on out of your social media and address this shit now. Derek, 100%. 100%. That is exactly what they should be doing. I mean, their PR is so shit. I don't understand why they're even employed. For me, this is the equivalent to the Xbox One reveal. I'm jumping ship again if this is true. Again, it's all conjecture at this point. I'm glad I have a day off tomorrow then. Well, I don't. They're using you guys to reassure the fan base. All I'm saying is this. I don't know if it's true. This dude over here, this Xbox era, has said, for many weeks now, rumors have persisted regarding Microsoft's thing. Where is it? According to our sources. The moment you say that, it's a rumor. Because Reforge came out and said according to his sources. Someone else came out and said according to their sources. And then we go over to The Verge, and The Verge instantly says the same thing. According to our sources. So it is possible that their sources are incorrect. And all of this is just, being fueled to light a fire to just cause nothing but damage to the brand. For all we know, from the 1,900 people that got fired, they're the ones that are spreading the information. Right? 1,900 people got laid off. Some from Activision Blizzard's, some from within Microsoft. There's no disgruntled employees, you're telling me? None at all? I mean, I even actually found out, well, I was told today from someone that, Mike Ybarra was actually fired. Is that true? I don't know. But apparently he was. And, he got his source from within Microsoft. So a source of a source. So I don't know. A lot of it, there's a lot of weight here, right? But right now, as Derek quite rightly said, this shit needs to be addressed right now. Because this is going to cause a lot of damage by morning. And I guarantee you, Microsoft will not be coming out to make a statement. They are just going to let it wither through and not care. I will be very surprised if I see a single post from Microsoft coming out. Ables, exactly. That's the point. I suspect we'll hear something this week. This can't go on for too long. It's already gone on long enough. Dude, tensions are high. I mean, at least on social media, where I'd say maximum 5% of the Xbox community is, tensions are high. Like, I really don't know what to say. Microsoft is a West Coast company. It's mid-afternoon. Yeah, they're in Seattle. They're in Salt Lake City, right? If I'm not mistaken. So they should be pretty much drafting something up right now to put out to people. Oh, God. Maybe Sarah Bond hasn't gotten her green clothes from the drag. Fuck's sake. Steve, what's your thoughts on all this?
Well, you know, I think it's all just rumours and not to take anything to heart. Nothing set in stone. I think if it does go like this, so it's going to destroy the brand completely.
Yeah. Fernicus, I mean, Game Pass is making a lot of money. It's making more money than the cost of Game Pass. So it's not like it's losing money. So that's fine. There wasn't a problem there. They're just not making as much money as they could have been making. But what did they think was going to happen? Hey, anime, I know. This is the real me.
I think if it's just select games, it's not the flagships, it's not going to be so bad.
Yeah.
But if they start porting the Gears, the Halos...
I think it's going to be ZeniMax and ABK. I think anything that's under the Microsoft umbrella, you know, like Ninja Theory and whatnot, if they stay exclusive to the Xbox brand, that could be something. But if this is true, then anything that's on the ZeniMax and the Activision Blizzard seems to be fair game.
I think even that will ruin it. The ABK, fair enough, but the ZeniMax games, they should stay exclusive too.
FinFang, there is no confirmed report from Microsoft. Until it's officially confirmed by Microsoft, regardless of how bleak it looks, it's still a rumor. Buy a PlayStation, I must pay for all Xbox games and I get all for low price with Game Pass Ultimate. No, if you get a PlayStation, you're paying $70 all the time. Where are you seeing that, Dubs? 65% now, not confident. I mean, that's what Steve was saying earlier. It's going to push people away. Sounds like a lot of FUD and truth, which is sad. Maybe they'll change course, but who knows? Maybe the backlash will show them what they're actually doing is the wrong thing to do. But I think people coming out and just saying no to this is a good thing. Phil Spencer is a liar and a coward. They're about to throw Sarah Bond in the line of fire. Oh, they threw her under the bus a long time ago. Xbox Phil Spencer, Sarah Bond, and Matt Booty to Xbox owners right now. I mean, there's going to be a lot of this. Unfortunately, now there's going to be a lot of trolling. So you thought Don Matrick was a screw up? Hold my beer. I mean, yeah, that is pretty thing. Aaron Greenberg is a community manager PR, yes, and he does nothing. Let's see if we can go to Aaron Greenberg. I mean, obviously he can't say anything until he's been given the go-ahead. Yeah, he needs a green light. So PR, community manager, it really doesn't matter. They are strapped as much as the next person. At least we got Persona 3 2 days ago, yesterday, 3 days ago. So there's that. So you'll still get like games like this on Xbox, day and date. I know it's not helping. Check Jez's poll. If Xbox brings their games to PlayStation, does this mean the console wars are over? There is no console. Do you feel confident in investing in the Xbox ecosystem right now? No. Well, actually, I'm unsure because, like I said, my kids enjoy Game Pass, so I'm not canceling my Game Pass subscription because they use it and they couldn't give a shit where the games went. They just want to play games.
And what's the percentage of no?
Let's click on unsure. 63%. That's huge.
So it's exactly what I said. It's already pushing people.
But there's only 4,000 people. That's 4,000. This is what I said. The Twitter, like this social media bubble, Steve?
It's a small percentage, yeah.
It's a small percentage. I mean, Xbox has 26 million consoles out there. And it's got 40 odd million Game Pass subscriptions out there. 5,000 is nothing. Even if that hit 50k or 100k, it is still nothing to the 40 million out there, right? It's such a small bubble.
You can transfer that result to the majority.
No, because it's only 100,000. What if 25 million turned around and said, yeah, I've still got no problem with it because I'm getting my games day and date? Or 30 million turned around and said, yep, day and date, as far as I'm concerned, I'm paying $12.99 a month. I don't care whether the games go to someone else a year later. As far as I'm concerned, I'm getting them right now on my Xbox console and I can play them as part of my subscription without paying anything more. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm happy. And that will be the general consensus. I guarantee you. What you're seeing here is the diehards. These are the yous and the me's. That 5,000 or whatever it's going to go to, 10,000, 50,000, 100,000, that's the diehards. The 24 million people out there that have an Xbox that are playing, little Timmy's playing, or, John, the businessman, plays when he comes back from work and sits down and shoots aliens for like 2 hours a week. He couldn't give a shit. He's still going to buy the console because he's enjoying it for Game Pass and is more than likely getting it for his kids. So there's this side of things to consider as well. This is why I said social media is such a small thing. Tomorrow sources have been spot on all week. They work in Microsoft. And if they are 100% for this, then we'll know. And then I'll do another impromptu stream. God, I'm supposed to be streaming over at my other channel tomorrow. This might actually be a problem with the news it's coming out so big and fast. Halo now? There's no news on Halo. At the end of the day, Satya Nadella has the final say. Bingo. So, it's the suits. Like I've said all along. The suits are the problem. That base isn't as big as PlayStation. It doesn't need to be. But the average consumer just doesn't care. Tip. Oh, man. Sorry, Timmy. I keep using Timmy. Timmy. And I care about exclusivity. I care about them not making... I care about them not making another console. Fin Fang Doom, I still see them making another console. I don't see that not happening. If Xbox was just going to put one or all games on PlayStation, why would PlayStation fight so hard against ABK? Because Sony probably didn't have any idea Microsoft was going to do this. If they did have any inkling, because in their discussions in the emails, Phil was very clear in saying you're not getting these games. So if they knew that this was going to happen, Sony wouldn't have given a shit. Jaffe made a video. All right, let's react to it. You know what? I think you're right, Steve. I think you're right. I'm never gonna have a short stream. Let's see. But I will say this, folks. We are at 144 strong. We have 43 likes from 144 people. Come on, you can do better than that, right? Come on. You can do better than that. I'm not doing a reforge here. I'm not asking you to pay money. Just drop a like. That'd be appreciative. But hey, if you want to become a member or a super chat. Hey, you got to hustle, right? You got to hustle. I'm being made homeless, so any hustling is good hustling.
There's a sob story.
Yep, the sub story to make sure. Wait. Eh? Oh, it's live.
As fans, fine. Now they're finally getting this shit together. Here we go. Get this Xbox Series X and just devoted to it. Here it is.
That's not showing. Hold on. I'm going to get the audio sorted now.
Microsoft's now. And the moment it happened, the moment that the roadmap is clear, this year Microsoft slapped first party.
Why is there no sound?
Can you just humor me for a second? There's an Xbox fan who has done that, is waiting for this. Boom, it's everywhere. In light of Sarah Bond's express statement saying, yes, it's exclusive. Aaron Greenberg saying, yes, it's not a timed exclusive. It's an exclusive game. And then you've got Satya Nadella saying, give us competition. Your idea of competition and a lot of people's ideas of competition are very different.
Yeah, but mine's
so
right
I'm
and theirs
just,
is wrong.
I mean, you're entitled to your opinion.
You're arguing your idea of competition is born out of you being a child when Sega and Nintendo were battling, and so you're still.
That's not true. I
is
gave you
true.
examples.
I know,
He's
but
actually got a
what
point
I'm
there.
saying is, I know,
Sony's
but
going to take the piss now.
I know,
You know Sony's going to take the piss.
What I'm saying, I know, but it doesn't matter. The games matter. That's it. That's all that's ever mattered. Okay.
Tell me, how will this make games better?
Well,
Xbox games going to play.
I don't think this will make, other than people will make more money and they can invest more in games. I don't agree with your assessment that Sony's going to try less hard because of this. I think potentially, I have to assume what Microsoft's doing is they're saying, hey, we're either going to try to bring, we made a deal with Sony and we're going to give you these games on your system, but you're going to let us bring Game Pass next year to PlayStation, and then we're going to get out of the console business, right? Or they said, we didn't make a deal, but you're going to have to pay $70 and they're, quote, for free on our service. Either way, Sony is going to be going, okay, wait a minute, our customers aren't going to like having to pay $70 when Game Pass customers don't have to pay that. And so Sony's going to have to, just like I said, when I watched their State of Play and people misunderstood what I said in my video, I said, look, when I can get stuff for Game Pass that maybe it's not quite as good, but it's good enough, or I can go spend $70 on Sony's take on Stellar Blade or Wulong or whatever, Sony has to work harder because it's kind of like saying, do you want to eat at McDonald's or do you want to eat at Ruth's Chris? It's like, well, I'd rather eat at Ruth's Chris, but McDonald's is fine. It's fine. 95% of the time, McDonald's is fine. And that's what they're saying. And McDonald's makes a hell of a lot more money than Ruth's Chris. What's the problem? Doesn't mean Ruth's Chris doesn't.
That's a potential where PlayStation feel that pinch, assuming Xbox fix their quality. What do you think about Xbox games? Do you think Xbox games and the internal studios will feel the pressure? They will apply the pressure to increase the quality of their games now they're third party, as opposed to if they retained exclusivity on Xbox?
I think it depends on the game, but I think I don't know how this makes a difference. The only thing I would say is that if they're smart and if they're capable, they will always put quality where it matters, because whether it's getting an exclusive like Pal World or whether it's making sure that, you know, Halo Infinite gets more time or whatever, because it's going to make people want their games. And then if the value proposition for them is more important to be sub to Game Pass, then yeah, I think it will. I mean, they can't just put out shit. McDonald's isn't shit. It's shit for you, but people love it.
I think it's a bit of an idealistic view there. I think it's a bit naive, born of naivety. I think
what part is naive about that? Which part is naive about that?
Gads is really going for it.
I think you're just, well, assuming that I assume you're just assuming this, but the way I see it is there's less resistance there. Microsoft feels less pressure and the pinch. I gave you the example yesterday on Go Live about Starfield. I don't think Microsoft would have even entertained, because Bethesda reportedly were ready to ship Starfield a year before. Microsoft really felt the pressure with their anemic 2022 and said, look, just give it more breathing space and get this mode polished. That kind of incentive, I think, will go away. Microsoft will not feel that pressure. If it's third parties say, okay, just release it everywhere, we don't have to fare with the blowback without that we're competing with PlayStation.
Okay, so what you're saying is even though they had no problem releasing Redfall when it was exclusive, fine. Let's assume
and the reason they didn't want to release actually Redfall, funnily enough, but
okay. But what I'm saying is if these guys say we have even less incentive to make our games good because they're third party now, great. But then they can't expect people to stay subscribed to Game Pass, can they?
Why not? The value proposition is still that you like your Pal World. Your Pal World is not exactly the most refined game.
Pal World is not.
Yeah, but it's not exactly a refined, janky game that's derivative as hell. People say that's like
it's not derivative.
I'm not saying I enjoy it. I'm not saying that. But look, Pal World is a clear example of a title that doesn't need masses of. I mean, that's a different weird example. It's called the zeitgeist of Pokemon.
Okay, well, give me another example. Give me another example.
Give you an example of what?
Well, you're saying give an example of how if Xbox doesn't have to try, they can still make Game Pass a value proposition. If they can relax a bit.
I'm not.
Because you did. You said if they go third party, they're not going to have to try to make their games as good.
Yeah.
Is exactly what you said.
Yeah, exactly.
Give me an example of what one of those games might be.
It hasn't happened yet, though, has it, Jeffy?
Make something up. Like, what does that mean? So you're saying
Indiana
Jones out, and Indiana Jones could be as janky as Redfall, is what you're saying, or Redfield.
No, I'm not saying that. I've never said that.
So I'm saying, give me an example. Make something up. That, paint a picture of what that would look like. Is what I'm asking you to do.
Let me go to his.
Okay, take your Indiana Jones example.
Mm-hmm.
They are Arcane, for instance. Arcane have been getting it. Not because it's not Arcane. It's Arcane. The other Arcane.
It's
Leon?
Machine Games.
No. Sorry, I'm confusing it. Machine Games. Machine Games are releasing it. They will say we're going at third party, or they feel the pressure internally because they have these internal memos. They've compared their games with The Last of Us. They have done that. We have seen the discourse, and
but give me an example of how Indiana Jones.
Those memos won't exist.
Give me an example of how Indiana Jones can be a worse game with the philosophy you're saying is going to be marbled into Xbox now that they've gone third party. What would happen? Is the frame rate going to be shit? If
there'll be there may be less incentive for them to leverage the Xbox's frame rate, perhaps, or just getting the frame rate right. They could have less quality control.
Okay, so what are the consequences? What are the consequences if Xbox goes third party and relaxes? The consequences, I would imagine, are people stop subscribing to Game Pass because the stuff they put on Game Pass is no longer compelling enough to stay on Game Pass, right?
No, I mean, that's very determinative. It could be people, we will just get lower quality bar, but unless the competition or other people in the space don't feel the pinch for it, they will just get lower quality games. That's it. I'm not saying everyone's going to, en masse, stop subscribing to Game Pass. I'm not saying that. But what I'm suggesting is people will learn to accept lower quality because people already call Game Pass games Game Pass fodder. We've seen
If
that
people
statement. Have you
learn
not?
to accept lower quality, then people deserve what they've learned to accept. What they're saying is they don't care. They're good and
Neither
again,
do you.
I do care. I don't.
But you love Game Pass.
I don't agree with your assessment of Game Pass.
Yeah,
I
I
think
asked the question.
the only brick that you have to stand on foundationally is you're absolutely 100% right, and only a fool would argue with you that the production value that a number of people love and have come to be trained to think is the height of video games is only going to ever be, unless somebody new comes along, at the best of the best on PlayStation. And if that's what you're talking about, then I think you're absolutely right. But I don't give a fuck about that. I'd rather play Power World than the Last of Us 2 Remastered. Last of Us 2 Remastered, great. It looks amazing. The animation's amazing, blah, blah, blah. But you know what's really fucking fun? Is Power World, right? So, but yeah, you're right. If you're that kind of gamer, but frankly, I would argue if you're that kind of gamer and you didn't buy a PlayStation to begin with, then you're a fucking, not you guys, but I mean, then you're a fucking moron.
Yeah.
Why would you even have an Xbox at this point? That's like saying, you know, you like thrill rides, but you go to Disneyland
So
and not
basically
Six Flags.
what he's saying
it's like Six Flags is where they have the
You
thrill
buy an
rides, not
Xbox for the
Disneyland. Why
lower
would you even go to
quality
fucking
games, but the
Disneyland?
quantity of games.
So how do you think this is going to pan out? Now that Xbox, this is a fundamental seismic shift in the entire gaming landscape. You have to concede
I
to
think
that.
it's very.
I mean,
simple
how the
it's gonna
fuck
pan
can you
out.
say
I think
that?
it's going to be. They're going to put stuff wherever they can put it to make their money, which is great.
It's literally become Game
They're
Pass
going to
fodder
let you
again,
have
yeah.
it quote for free on Game Pass, and then their bet is that free versus $70 is going to bring more people into their ecosystem, which is fundamentally
well,
where
there's no
everything
Xbox
is
game
going
God,
anyway. It
that's
may
why
not go
it's
there
going
this
to.
generation, and I agree with you. We don't know if we're talking
mean,
5-6
Power
years
isn't
out there.
even
But it's
announced for
becoming
PlayStation 5
service-based
or
competition,
Nintendo,
not
so,
hardware-based competition.
And Nintendo will
But
never allow
if
it.
they
They're
get
gonna-
in early like they are,
The devs have
and
never
they
made a
start
game
building
off
that
of
Game
Xbox
Pass
or
subscription
Windows.
because they hit that
Yeah.
marketing right, and they tell people free versus $70 every
Phil
time
has
they
thrown
share
Sarah
a
under the
title.
bus, mate.
When it
He didn't
does
throw her under the
go
bus. He
PS
shoved her
Plus
under the bus.
versus Game Pass,
Or Satya
and
Nadella
that's the
did.
real battle. I think you're going to see they're having a much more beachhead into that sort of mental awareness of what Game Pass is. Kind of like they will have already laid the foundation of like, oh yeah, that's what a Game Pass is. Like
Yeah,
what
Power
Netflix
Boss, you're
did.
100% right.
That's where I think it's.
So-
gonna
And do you remember how I was saying
the next
previously,
gen, when
where
the
games
PlayStation
like
comes out and
Forza
whatever, the
Motorsport
Xbox,
wouldn't
it
have
doesn't even
released
need to
in
be
that
there
state
in the hardware
Not
space.
really.
if it wasn't
No,
for Game
not
Pass?
really.
And a lot of you actually, well, not
So
here,
what are you
but a lot of
expecting in
people
terms of
criticized me
the
for that
shift
comment.
in the
And I
market?
said
Because you're all
Redfall
talking
wouldn't
about
have
a
released in that state
shift
if it
entirely
wasn't
to
for Game
Pass.
Pass.
What can Sony do?
That's the-
What do you
that's the
expect? Are
negative
people
side
gonna
of
tip
Game
over to
Pass.
play Xbox? Because by your accord, they should be doing that because now they've got these 70. Again, it's all based on value. You're talking about.
Oh yeah,
$70,
Tim Brewster, 100%. I agree
free
with you.
on
It's
Game
not going to
Pass.
grow.
Are you expecting this shift to Xbox?
I am expecting when the games come out that are compelling, and again, like I said, the scenario I paint is Call of Duty, Indiana Jones, Avowed. Now, they may all not be good, but let's assume they are if they can get their shit together. And if they can market and let people know that value proposition beyond just people who are on the internet
Microsoft
yelling
doesn't
at each
know how
other
to
about video
market,
games all
Jeffy.
day, I think that will be dramatically successful and it will be disruptive. Yes. It may not be.
Okay.
I don't have to be right about it, but I absolutely believe in that model. I've believed in it since I heard it. And that's why I've been very high on Xbox, but Game Pass, by proxy this generation, because I think it's a very exciting disruption that will actually make games better. But that's a different discussion. But that's what I think will occur. And then I think what will happen is, and fundamentally what will happen is that.
Does anyone know if Gaz just jumped
when
into
you
a
see
call
it
with
happening
him,
with
or
Power
if he
World.
actually
Power World
is
is
a
really
host?
a fascinating thing because, there's not a lot of games
If you buy a Series X
that
this year,
break
you should be
through
pissed.
as quickly as that did,
I disagree.
that are as janky and low budget as that title is. And what it really does,
I mean, right
to
now,
me,
as Power Boss has said, there
it
is no
proves out
confirmation
that,
of any game going to any other platform.
production value is
It's
a fair
not
weathered
been
friend.
confirmed.
What
Now, I think
what
if
looked
it does,
amazing
it's
2 years
bullshit,
ago is
but at the same time,
bargain
it's
bin
not
today.
confirmed.
But gameplay, compelling gameplay, however you define that depends on the game, will always shine through and will always be profitable.
Oh, okay,
and will
fair enough. I
always
was going to
be,
grab him and quickly bring him over here.
really the North Star these companies should be chasing. So that doesn't mean Sony, when everything goes service-based, should ever abandon their big budget production shit. People love that shit. Great,
Yeah.
keep doing that. But
I agree.
fundamentally what it's done is it's stripped down the essence of the medium, of the art form, and said, guys, the money is not in the production value. It's hard to make your money back with those games unless you hit it just right because they're really expensive.
Yeah.
But you can...
I agree.
You know, and so I think it's a good thing fundamentally. But right now with the ecosystem we have, I think it's going to be
Derek,
if
that's
Xbox
exactly
can
what
pull it
Jeffy's
off and
saying.
market it,
That, you know,
I think this is
those low budget
I hate the
games
word nothing
like
burger
Power
'cause
World,
it's so
like
dorky, but it's kind of a
Minecraft, are what
frankly.
makes
Other than I think it's going to hurt Sony.
you
I
know
think it will hurt Sony.
Game Pass excels
will
so
hurt-
much
You think this will hurt Sony
because
in the
they
long run? That's
appeal
it.
to
This
so
could
many more
decimate
people.
Sony if
This could potentially.
Right,
I can concede
it
to that.
probably won't
that
because
potentially happening.
production at Microsoft is poo-poo and their marketing is shitburger. But assuming they marketed it,
See,
they sold
as
the
he
value
said,
proposition,
the production
and
at
they were able to
Microsoft
hit
is
with some
shit. The
consistent,
marketing
compelling
is
games,
shit.
it would
Everyone knows
absolutely
this.
decimate Sony. Yes.
There is
100%.
rumor after rumor
Okay.
after rumor
Well,
after rumor, but
I
no
will agree
confirmation,
to the
anything.
extent
Sarah
that I
Bond
was
is making
talking
an
to,
announcement
PlayStation guy
spring,
called
then we'll
Nick
know.
Mossey,
No, and Power Boss, they need to come out way
I
before
would say
spring.
that-
They need to come out in within the next week. In fact, I would say they need to come out within the next 24 hours.
There would be an
They can't wait till
existential threat
spring.
looming because of the way
People would
market
jump
in the
ship
whole-
so
as a
quickly.
whole has shifted. And
No way
Sony
they
has
can wait until spring.
expressly stated that it's looking beyond the console as well. We've
Absolutely
seen
not.
anywhere where
3 weeks
computing
ago, yeah.
exists.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Connor,
so
I agree.
I'm not having
24
a black and
hours. They
white
have to
view
come
on
out
that.
tomorrow.
Now, my position comes from an Xbox fan who really committed to that and believed in the vision of what Microsoft could do with this.
By the time Game Pass got Minecraft,
I have
it
great
didn't
little
matter.
confidence in
Right,
that.
but there's an emotional
everything
response which I
already at that point?
appreciate and understand.
Yeah, but what
then
I'm saying
that's not what
is
I do. I'm kind of
there's
a
still a
robot
cost
when
to
it comes
Minecraft,
this shit.
right?
I don't put my emotion into fucking.
But games like
conflicts.
that,
Games.
I mean,
maybe, but
he was using
consoles,
Minecraft
no.
as
And
an
so
example.
I
But
understand
the point
it. I
is,
appreciate it. But
you know,
why I
a
say,
game for Xbox
you know, if
doesn't
you're over
have
the age
to
of
look
13
like The Last
and
of
you
Us
really
or
give yourself
Uncharted
5 minutes to
or
breathe,
you know God of War to be great. A
hopefully
game
what
doesn't
it'll
have to
do
look
is
that
wake
good.
you up to the idea
Indiana
of being loyal
Jones
to a
does
fucking
not
company to
look
begin
as
with.
good as The
It's not
Last of
even
Us
a
Part 2.
loyalty thing,
Sure it
man.
is. You're
It's
talking
just
about
Avowed
wanting to
does
fight
not
to
look
come
as
back
good
in Xbox 360
as The
and
Last
those
of Us
other
Part
It's
2.
a competition. This is
You know,
You're
we
not
can
in
all
the
agree on
competition,
this.
though. What do
But
you
is
do
the
for a
game
living?
good?
Your
Will it
competition
play
is with
great?
me.
If
Your
it does,
competition is with
does
Colin
it
Moriarty.
need
Your
to look
competition
as
is with
you know?
Alex
Does it
Levy.
need to have
That's the
those
way you
photorealistic
care about it.
competition of
graphics?
these two companies that embolden and
Yeah,
give
but
us
what do we
great
care?
experience.
Exactly.
What do I
As long
care?
as the gameplay
We
is
get
good.
the good. Whether
You
I
want
get
better
it.
games,
Exactly.
no?
That is
Yeah,
the
but I
point.
don't
You
give a
want
fuck
better
who
games.
gives them
And
to
Connor,
me. I
you
don't
got
care
it
where I
bang
buy
on.
my
It
drugs
doesn't
from,
matter,
as
and
long
that
as
is
they're
what
good.
David Jaffe
If
is saying.
Sony's giving me a good drug this year with Ghost of Tsushima 2, and then I get it with Xbox.
That is
with
exactly what
Indiana Jones,
Jaffe is
and then I
saying.
get it on Power
Graphics
World with
isn't
PC or
everything.
GeForce
At the end
Now
of the
with
day,
Enshrouded.
if the
I don't-
game
as
is
long as I
good,
can afford
it plays
and they're
good,
saying
it
we're gonna
feels
put these
good,
all
it's
over
got
the
a
place,
good
so
story,
exclusivities like
and the
that,
graphics are
console-wise
acceptable,
going
and
away,
that is the
what do
that
I
is what you
fucking
get with
care?
Game
You should be
Pass.
grateful.
Because at the end of the day, it's a
No, I
subscription
don't
service.
disagree. It's like
You're
a
not
deal-
paying
you
for
take
the
a drug dealer-
game
dealer
itself. You're only
analogy.
paying
You've got one
$10 a
dealer who's
month.
giving weed to
There
everyone.
has to be some way
PlayStation's
they
got the
cut.
weed as well,
I
basically.
mean,
We
this
got
is
a bit
this is
DMT as
101.
well.
This is always the
You're
case.
gonna go to the guy with the DMT.
I mean, just look at Forza
anyway.
Motorsport.
Absolutely, because
What
I
they
want-
originally
pay a
showed
little
us and
bit
what we
because
got.
I want the DMT. But
Prime
guess
example.
what? If the DMT becomes in Xbox,
I
I
disagree
start
with the
being able to get it
graphics.
for
60
$20 a
FPS
month, but I know
is semi-important
own it.
depending on the game.
you know, whatever. I mean, I'm going to go
This
where I can.
analogy's sweet.
I'm going to go where I can afford to go. But anyway, all right,
I'm
guys,
sorry,
I love you.
I'm-
I love you
thank
to
you so much.
death.
Thank you
Listen,
so
here's
much.
what you and I are going to do. I've decided we're going to get some costumes designed. We're going to dress
Yep.
up. You and I are going to parachute into Gaza, and we are going to go there, and we are going to win the
Kill
fucking
Benjamin
war
Netanyahu. Yes.
for
Jesus.
just for everybody getting together. They would be scared of us because they would see your Xbox passion and they'd say, we can't fight this guy. We're the IDF. We got all kinds of tricks up our sleeves, but this motherfucker believes in the Xbox vision. We're fucked. And they would put their arms down, my friend.
Let me see if I
hope
can
so.
tweet.
All right, buddy.
They deserve
I'll talk
to
to you
Since
soon,
he's
guys.
finishing.
Thanks
Thank you so
again.
much.
All right,
Thank
bud.
you for letting me
Anytime.
in.
Call back
Take
all the
care.
time. All right, there's guys. I'm going to turn on the red phone so you guys can call. Let me get the super chat that came in. I want to see what you guys have to say, but I
guys,
do want to
guys,
get the
guys,
super chat.
guys,
I very
guys.
much much appreciate it. Thank you, fellas. This comes from Bold Alpha Wolf Pack. Thank you. He says, I disagree. Sony is planning on drip-feeding exclusives, cutting games into a third because they know Xbox is coming in force. It's the only way to keep up. It could be, but if you're talking about drip-feeding, cutting games like Spider-Man, I don't remember in the leak what the mentality.
I'm just trying to see if I can get Gaz
Spider-Man
on.
3 into 2 parts is. I kind of liked it because I thought it meant it was going to be so big. But if you're looking at it more from a standpoint of like, oh, they're just doing that to fuck with you, I mean, and get more of your money, I think that's fine if what they sell in part 1 is
I'm gonna stop
worth
this
the $70 they charge.
so we
but
can
if you play
continue
part
our
1
discussion.
And it feels like a 8-hour game, and people wanted more than that, which I'm sure they will, then I would take issue.
But yeah,
with
I
it.
think
But I don't think we know really.
I think what he's saying here, there is some truth to it in terms of the quality of the game. But overall, I think no, I think it's going to impact a bit. I think it's going to impact a bit. I don't think it's going to have the thing that he said it's going to have. Bold Alpha Walk Pack follows Reforged? No way. Even on PC, there's Xbox Store? Yeah, there is. Just seeing if he's going to reply. It looks like he's going to jump onto my Discord. Just need to get a link to the Discord because I've got something enabled so it doesn't thing. Let me get that link for him. Gaz is the one that we were just listening to. Okay, so this should be interesting. This should be interesting. This should be interesting. Actually, I should drag us both to the streaming channel and not stay in the lobby. By the way, can you say something? Steve? Steve? Hello? Are you talking? Are you sure? Am I talking? Yeah, I'm talking. Why have I got two things running at the same time? That is weird. What happened to you?
Here I am.
Just like
So you're talking. I can't hear a thing though. T8000.
Steve, are you there?
Oh, there he is. Hey guys.
Hello. How are
How you
you?
doing, buddy?
Good.
So we were just watching you making a lot of sense on Jeffy's podcast.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, I agree with what you're saying. I don't understand how this is actually going to be right for Xbox.
The Jaffe's idea of are we live? I don't
Yeah,
know
we
if
are.
you even. Oh yeah, sorry. Jaffe's idea of what the space is very different to what we have an idea of, and it's forward facing in the sense that he's relying on this disruptive Game Pass model to really maintain, this disruption within PlayStation. He doesn't think that competition will be diluted as a result of Xbox going third party. And the Microsoft I know, and we've all seen, only operates well when it has any kind of pressure.
Yeah.
And it going third party is a waving the white flag in many ways, which Phil Spencer did unashamedly last year, saying that we lost the worst generation and whatnot. By then, he would have known the pressure was being felt from Satya Nadella and co. that they needed to do something drastically different. But Jaffe also thinks that that's going to be fine. That these games are going to be okay. That they're independent silos and they'll deliver the quality that they do, and PlayStation will somehow. He says, Jaffe said that PlayStation could be in serious trouble as a result.
I don't see it. I don't see it.
I don't see it either.
I don't understand how they're going to be in trouble. I mean, there's news coming from The Verge talking about the potentiality of Indiana Jones going there after 3 months or 6 months. Is it? Like, how is that going to damage Sony?
It's not really, but his argument is based on the price point and value. Like, you're getting it quote unquote for free. But
the only argument I have against that is, if that was actually a factor or a problem right now, wouldn't more people be signing up to Game Pass from Camp Blue?
Yeah, that's what you would expect. But you're not. This is why I asked him. I said, when are you expecting this to change? You've got console sales have plateaued, and as a result, Game Pass subs have plateaued. That hasn't changed. He said, "Well, I like Game Pass," and I said, "Why hasn't it grown?" Because then you cited Redfall. I'm saying, well, you're saying if Redfall is the reason why, but then you're saying the service is good. You've already conceded to the poor quality and that Game Pass fodder argument. So, the quality of your exclusive titles will dwindle. PlayStation will be more relaxed. PlayStation is a force in the gaming space that is absolutely murking Xbox right now in console sales. Console sales have fed it into lack of Game Pass subs. What's going to change? And this is what I asked him. What's going to change? And Jaffe's argument is that if Xbox leveraged the Call of Duty point correctly and the marketing and tell everyone, hey, by the way, you're getting COD for free, that might pull away a significant number of people from PlayStation to Xbox. And I concede that that's their best chance of pulling eyes away. I just don't have much faith in Microsoft because we know Microsoft's crap at marketing. So, but you never know, man. Ultimately, I do feel like generally Xbox is going ahead of the curve in one sense because this idea of consoles, the way the technology is moving forward, it's becoming less hardware dependent and more on your streaming and your cloud stuff. Yep. But it's way too early, in my opinion.
Yeah,
it's too early. So it's like Xbox is really waving the white flag, and it's also like he doesn't get the Xbox fandom side of it, which is fair enough. But as Xbox fans, like you watched this brand, you enjoyed the 360 days, you thought that the X1 days were terrible. Finally, after 2018, we celebrated the acquisition of these studios because now Microsoft is now back again, the notion of a viable competitor in this space. Xbox Series X, it just shits the bed at launch. You don't have any exclusives at all on the thing, but blah, blah, blah. We excuse it again because it had ZeniMax. Wow, okay, that's a game changer. Now Microsoft has the whole stable of ZeniMax and Bethesda studios in their stable. Then they go after this insane ABK one, and you get Call of Duty. Now that's going to disrupt everything. And finally, after 2 years of fighting this case, the same case that a lot of Xbox fans excused Xbox's paltry performance in the 2022 because they were distracted for this case, it's understandable, blah, 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 blah. When it happens and the deal finally happens and this Microsoft decides to chew on this humongous deal, it's done. We got a roadmap of Xbox games. They look great. Finally, 2024 comes, and guess what? Oh, by the way, we haven't told you this, but reports are coming in that PlayStation guys are going to enjoy the same game. Same games like Starfield, where Sarah Bond goes on stage and says, and yes, it's exclusive. There's so many. I'm working on a video right now, and there's so many hypocritical statements that, again, even from the FTC hearing, what Phil Spencer was saying, Sony uses the money that it makes from the exclusives we put on their platforms to hurt us. So how are you going to reconcile those kind of statements, or the Sarah Bond statement, or you want Satya Nadella, if you want competition, let us have competition. Xbox fans are going to be pissed. Oh, they are massively. Have you seen Tim Dog? He's going crazy on.
It's mental. The meltdown right now is crazy. But like this whole situation right now, what was the purpose of actually going out and buying ZeniMax? I mean, the whole purpose of that was to make Starfield exclusive, right? That is what they said. They went to ZeniMax, they wanted this game, and they said, well, we've heard that PlayStation kind of want to make this exclusive, so we're here to buy you. So if you're going to pull out like big dick moves like that, why are you changing it now? In my opinion, what's happened is the suits have seen that, you know, Microsoft this year made 6% in revenue, and with ABK being multi-plat, made 43%. All they're seeing is the money, you know, the dollar signs at the moment. And the suits up above, like Satya. I mean, I know where Satya Nadella was saying, like, if you want us to compete, let us compete. But I think this decision isn't coming from Phil or Sarah Bond. I mean, we're hearing that there's internal strife over at Microsoft right now in regards to what games are going to go to PlayStation or other platforms. But I think this is coming from the very top of Microsoft, this decision. I think the suits are just looking at the return of interest and money and not looking at the community. The problem that they're going to have is a lot of the community who, you know, was there with the original launch of the Xbox, like myself, was there with the 360, even with the Xbox One when it was doing so bad, and it did do bad. There's no denying that the Xbox One was a horrendous period for Microsoft, but they finally rebuilt it. They rebuilt something with the Series X. They came back, and before us Xbox gamers could, I mean, this is the part that gets me. Before we as Xbox gamers can enjoy the fruits of the labor that's gonna come from ZeniMax and ABK, they're already giving it away.
They're eroding it.
Yeah.
And I think that, I mean, it's going crazy well. I mean, how long do you think before Sarah Bond or Phil Spencer or, you know, their PR guy, Aaron Greenberg, I don't know what he's doing right now, probably looking for, you know, a notepad to start writing stuff, but, you know.
A noose. He's going to need a lot of ink to justify whatever that he's in. They've got a tough task ahead of them. They've sat quietly in the background, haven't even said anything, and this thing has been actually gestating for weeks now, months even. I announced this in December because I knew some things already. Like Hellblade 2, brace yourself for that. And the reason why I said, you know me, man, I would not say that out of nowhere. I said that in December, like, watch out. And even when I was told by my very, very reliable source, like direct source, I didn't believe it. I was like, this is so stupid, it doesn't matter. And then you've got a Trello or whatever group of developers just think this is absolutely stupid. Developers are working on this.
I can't wait to play Halo on PS5.
Where is your chat? It doesn't seem like it's live. I'm okay.
Let me send you the YouTube link.
Yes, please. But yeah, like it, you know, it's. I saw it coming for a few weeks ahead. I was like, this is the reason why I was saying the things I was saying on Twitter. I was called a pony bot when I went on King Thrasher's show. I said the same things.
Oh, that was a painful thing to watch, man. That was.
You know me, I was there for that.
Yeah, I mean, I thought King Thrash was owed at least someone trying to have a good, like, a conversation in earnest, even though I did not understand some of the points he was making there about weird
Hellblade
or games as service ideas.
I mean, it's King Thrash. Can you really blame you for getting a headache?
But King Thrash he's entertaining as hell, so I'll give him that. But I didn't agree with what you were saying. But but I did say on the show I have no confidence in Xbox retaining exclusivity of these games, and that was in God knows when, December. So okay. By the way, I've been suspended off Twitter, so I can't even tweet.
I don't even understand why you got suspended. You didn't say anything. I saw the tweet.
No, because I've got a group of PlayStation fanboys. They're so sad. They're so sad. I'm not making this up. I'll show you the link. Send you the link. They role play as Star Wars characters, and they've been mass reporting me for self-harm. They found a loophole in Twitter and they just did that and they got me suspended. And there's just loads of them do it. Loads of them. I've got a whole group of them, not even connected, some of these. But a lot of them are. So they just got me suspended for a few weeks. And I just want to be... Colt was like, "What a good week for you to be suspended, eh?" He was like, "Hey, I didn't pick this time to be suspended." But yeah,
hey, as a beautiful Star Wars fan myself, we don't claim them.
Well, you know, they were aligned with the Sith, if that means anything. So it was so sad. I was like, I've got these virgins actually sitting here and role playing my band. I felt so important all of a sudden, but I didn't. Then I realized how absolutely unclean these people must be. But yeah, no, look, it's you know, me, Rand, and Colt, we've been watching this tick in the background. We've been saying it for weeks. Brace yourselves, and we've been getting it from the Xbox community. But rightfully, I understand, because it sounds so far-fetched. You know, if I was in the other side, you know, on the opposite end, I would be saying the same thing. Like, shut up! Where are you getting your sources? This is one of these cases of the YouTubers talking bollocks. But really, it isn't, because like we wouldn't say this if we didn't think it's true. I have held my tongue on Hellblade for a while. Like, it's an insane situation, and I'm part of me, the chaotic person in me, is actually looking forward to seeing how Xbox deals with this.
They're not.
Well, they're not dealing with it now, but they will have to confront it. I think the noise is insane. If they still stay quiet for like the next couple of days, it's Sunday, so granted they don't have to say anything, but they don't say anything tomorrow or the whole of this week. My God, the vacuum that leaves and all the anger. I mean, when Tim Dog is saying, like, just forget that, I'm going to get a PlayStation 5 Pro.
Dude, I thought he had a mental breakdown today.
And yesterday. So
it was
like
bad
he's
on Twitter. His comments were just, I actually thought that he was broken.
I think a lot of Xbox fans are broken. And I don't blame them in many ways, but I've always... Look, I got it in 2022, and I gave Xbox a lot of flack because I never trusted them fully. Because you'd be naive to trust a corporation to do something in the best interest of not just like consumers for the sake other than making money.
Yeah.
So it's just So and this is a prime example of that. They, you know, a lot of fans evangelize the brand. They like suck up to that. I got it for years, like Ponybot, this and that. Every time I criticize Xbox, and I think part of this symptom of whatever is a result of Xbox fans, many Xbox fans, allowing that stuff to slide. But this is the straw that breaks the camel's back. Then, and it's obvious. Like, how do you come back from that? Xbox has relied on Xbox fans to market Xbox so effectively because they're so terrible at marketing themselves. They suck at marketing. So, you know, how are Xbox going to do that? What I did hear around about December is that leadership was split on this. So this is the thing that I had hope on. I was talking to Jez on the other side in the background as well, and other people are hearing the same thing. And I can understand that. I can see that. This is Satya Nadella's at work here. He's the one trying to get his little bonus. He's the one who's seeing, you know, this is the guy who told Phil Spencer we don't even need to be in the gaming space. Do we really need to be there? If Phil Spencer, I'm not giving an excuse to Phil Spencer or Get Out, by the way, but because his failures in many ways with the Xbox and the anemic leadership and launch of titles not supporting the launch of the console is probably the reason why console sales are dwindling. Yeah, exactly. So they're all culpable. They're all cool. Yeah, absolutely. They're all liable, but really, this is a mandate coming from Satya Nadella.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And that's what I was saying in chat as well earlier, that this is coming from the suits. Like, I still believe, like, right now, Phil and Sarah Bond are fighting to stop certain games going over to the other side because they know what type of damage this is going to do. This is also a big fuck you to Sarah as well, who has just taken that role as well. They are lit. I mean, she is right now public enemy #1 because she is in the crosshairs of everyone because she's pretty much replaced Phil's role, right? As
well, to some degree, yeah, she has, and apparently, well, according to that,
and her first job is to destroy the console. I mean, that doesn't exactly bode well, does it? I mean, people don't look at your stuff.
she's going to be the sacrificial lamb, but that was appointed to deliver all the worst news of Xbox. But yeah, Xbox, how it handles it, like Sea of Thieves, even that wasn't really good enough, despite how old it is, and it makes sense for games as a service. Hi-Fi Rush was a slap in the face for a lot of people because it's your first exclusive that was celebrated and Game of the Year contender, or for a lot of people, and the first big compelling new IP goes to PlayStation. And then you've got this. This is an absolute shit show.
I mean, that is.
Good
But
luck.
if you're looking at my screen right now on stream, I did send you a link.
I'm watching a stream, yeah.
Yeah. So to me, Hi-Fi Rush would fall into this Psychonauts packet, which is what they said would always have a potential to go to third parties, as well as the one on the right. This was the stuff that they presented at the FTC trial. So as much as I didn't like Hi-Fi Rush being the first title to go, I also said, that this was probably a power play to show when they go to buy another publisher that, hey, look, we are actually on a case-by-case basis pushing games to other platforms.
Yeah.
And maybe this is still that part of the play, but in my opinion, I think by putting your tentpole titles like Starfield, that is when you basically go and start pretty much digging your console into the grave.
Yeah.
Hi-Fi Rush, I think people may mind, but overall, I don't think people will care, because Hi-Fi Rush, it didn't really sell consoles. It didn't really push Game Pass. I mean, it sold copies on Steam, and that's another factor that is a problem, in my opinion, altogether. But, it wasn't exactly shifting subscriptions or consoles. Games like Starfield, Indiana Jones, Blade, Avowed, Hellblade 2, those have a huge potential to shift consoles and Game Passes. And if you're not looking at shifting your console and pushing your console as the primary source, how do you expect to sell Game Pass? Like, how there've been talks that they've slowed down and everything. Like, how does Satya Nadella expect to sell Game Pass subscriptions if they're not pushing the console as a centerfold?
They don't get it. I think they're relying on this, what Jaffe is suggesting, the value. Like, okay, this game's coming out.
That
It's
is
available
not going
everywhere.
to happen.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to work.
I don't think it's going to work.
I'm really intrigued to see how this pans out, because it's such a terrible idea, in my opinion. And to do it now, maybe when the industry ends it that way, then fine. But it's such a terrible idea to do it now that.
I mean, now's the worst time to do it, right? You've just landed. Everything.
I mean, you just started. I mean, we were looking forward to, Xbox to release a new console in 2026, 2027, have it front loaded with software exclusives that leverage the brand and say, here you go, these are Xbox games, new hardware, a year early, replicate that 360 model, and you get it on Game Pass. Huge selling point. Assuming your Elder Scrolls lands, your Perfect Darks or whatever, because that's miles away, Fable, whatever. All these games come out, and then boom, that's it. Xbox is now showing a fighting spirit.
Yeah.
This is Xbox bowing out of competition. This isn't competition.
I mean,
and Sony's going to take the piss. And PlayStation guys have every right to lord it up and laugh it off, but ultimately it also hurt PlayStation guys. They'll get some Xbox games, but what they'll also get is a very a much more lax PlayStation as well, that will charge you $80 or $90 or 90 quid or whatever for games. They've already talked about trying to segment the likes of Spider-Man or other games like that and offer them piecemeal. This will just hyper accelerate those plans, because now that over looming threat in many ways, the Microsoft threat is removing it. They are removing themselves out of it. So it's like, how's this going to pan out? I'm not confident in. I don't even know how they're going to deal with the messaging. They need to do something pretty substantial. Either way, if it's going to be a staged time exclusive period, still not good enough. So, as an Xbox fan, I would say, unless you're really into consoles and affordability is the thing, just get a PC. Don't get don't get the next Xbox, really. I don't know. We don't know what it's going to be like. So it's kind of sad in that way. But I've been bracing myself for this for quite some time. Now it hasn't even officially been announced yet.
That's what
one thing that.
Say.
When are these guys going to speak up? Because if they don't speak up tomorrow or early this week,
tomorrow, right? They have to.
And if they don't, it's a slap in the face of a lot of Xbox fans.
At that point, it's clearly that they don't give a shit. But what if they come out tomorrow and say all the rumors are incorrect, false?
Well, I'd love to be wrong. I am praying I'm wrong. I don't give a shit about all the backlash, everything. I was like, you know what? I said this on my show. You can shit on my face in HD. I don't care. I want to be wrong on this. Every Xbox fan or anyone reporting on this wants to be wrong on this because it's just like not what we want. It's not good for the industry as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, like, if they do, Hey, listen, Microsoft is so freaking reactive, this $1 trillion company. When it comes to the gaming space, they're so reactive to things. We saw that they've always had terrible ideas. They had a whole generation built on terrible ideas, which was the Xbox One. They had the Xbox Live Gold price hike that they thought was a good idea that got reversed in less than 24 hours. Yeah, in 24 hours it got killed. And they even had the idea to push that through. Then it got cancelled. So, they can try. They can try. The one thing I'm really grateful for is, I've always been at loggerheads with some hardcore Xbox fans when I critique Xbox. And on the most basic of things, like 2022's shit year. And I was just talking about all the language and the bollocks that they were saying. And then Phil Spencer the next year comes out and says exactly what I'm saying, but I got it in the neck. And when the Xbox execs runs there, ashamedly just saying all this thing, we did terrible, blah, blah, blah. They, at least here, I don't even have to say anything. I'm freaking suspended on Twitter, for God's sake. And Aaron, the shit is going crazy. So I'm amused watching the Twitter. I'm just like, I still want to get involved in shit on this whole thing, but it's funny to observe. Hey, look, it's not a boring generation, that's for sure. So let's see what Microsoft do. It's going to be a fun one.
I mean, it's going to be interesting because what they say next, I think, is going to make or break. I mean, it's already running on a brittle glass at the moment, in my opinion. A lot of people are feeling disheartened. A lot of people are feeling... I think the most important thing, or the biggest thing, really, is a lot of people are feeling betrayed. They've stuck by them for this long, and now that they're finally about to have something that they can cheer about and celebrate, it's been taken away from them. And I don't really see that logic. And I get the suits just don't give a shit, and they don't. That's the honest truth. All they care about is the bottom line. I mean, Kid Smooth here is saying screw Xbox.
Yeah. Tim Dog's saying the same.
Tim Dog he's all over the place. He doesn't want it at all. But the sentiment right now is the lowest I've ever seen. And I mean, I'm always on the fence where until it's officially announced, it is still a rumor, and there is still scope for them to come out and say that this isn't happening. I mean, we know that there's been 1,900 people from Microsoft that have been laid off. A lot of this information could have just been done in order to give a bad PR, to drops, to make stock prices fall and stuff like that. I mean, it wouldn't be beyond the realm of, what you would expect. Now, I appreciate people have their different sources, but sources can be wrong as well. But I don't think Microsoft has till the end of next week. I've seen some people in my in my chat saying that they have 3-4 days to come out with something. I think they have 24 hours, and they need to come out, because Phil Spencer's messaging has been all over the place. When they bought ZeniMax, they said, ZeniMax games will appear only where Game Pass is appearing. So does this mean Game Pass is actually going to go to, or a form of Game Pass is going to go to PlayStation and the Nintendo Switch? If not, then they changed this statement by saying it's going to be a case-by-case basis for ZeniMax games. And then he said the ABK one's going to be a case-by-case. And that's why I wasn't too bothered with the Hi-Fi Rush. It annoyed me that they picked Hi-Fi Rush as the first game, but it was always because it's a case-by-case, we knew that this was eventually at some point going to happen. it wasn't a secret or anything. This was always going to happen. But with the way the FTC just riled Microsoft and just almost rode them all the way through to lose. I mean, they lost so much of ABK in terms of exclusivity over that time. And for everyone to come to terms with that, and then eventually they come out with this, like I can't see the logic. I just can't see it.
Hey man, there's gonna be a lot of fireworks. Good luck to Xbox.
We're not a third-party publisher, right? We do something different with our.
It's gonna be fucking. You gonna play something? Sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna play something real quick, but it wasn't playing. Let me just set the audio. Where is it?
We're not a third-party publisher.
Yeah, you look.
We're not a third-party publisher, right? We do something different with our content, like Starfield, but not all the content. Obviously, Minecraft ships on other platforms, and we enjoy doing that as well. We're not a third-party publisher, right? We do something different with our content, like Starfield, but not all the content. Obviously, Minecraft ships on other platforms, and we enjoy doing that as well.
So, we accepted that certain games are going to go third party, but if you're coming out with these statements, you need to come out and back that shit up, man. You can't just...
They can't reconcile it. Listen, Phil Spencer's gone out and said that if they bring games to PlayStation uses that money to hurt them. That's a bald-faced lie if they voluntarily decide to put those games on PlayStation. And I've got a video in the works where they've got so many express statements like contradict themselves. So it's just like, how are you gonna reconcile all of that? Hey man, part of me is just like, I'm amused by the fucking Fallout. I'm just watching it, just like, just popcorn in hand. Just normally I would get involved, but I can't on Twitter. I was like, hey, this is the Xbox's exec's job. Never have faith in these corporations. I'm telling you, it applies all across the board, which I've been ranting on about. But like, here you go. Like, let's just see it. And everyone is losing their shit, and it is freaking beautiful to observe as well. The chaos of it all, because it's like, hey, hold these guys to account. They're not your friends. Every time before Sarah Bond used to post, you'd always have someone simp in the comments. Thank you, Sarah Bond. We love you, Sarah Bond. It's like, what the fuck is this about? Now, if you see Sarah Bond's freaking threads, it's like, don't fucking do them. What the? It's just like everyone's losing their shit. It's just like, okay, it's gonna be fucking hilarious, man. Oh my god, I will say the ponies do not deserve this win. They do not deserve this. This absolutely moronic fan base does not deserve this win. But I will say, look, we have to respect the rules and etiquettes of console wars. When it gets announced, we will say it. I see you've got Aaron Greenberg's tweet here. And we have tried to be as clear as possible. Not a timed exclusive. This is simply the game is being made. Okay. It's okay. Another Quail, you'll be back in the morning. He's going to get fucked. And we're going to watch it front row.
I mean, this is going to be a front row shit show.
Unless they come back and the noise is so much, they'll say, yeah, we can't
decided
do this.
Against it.
Yeah, because last time I was hearing, and it's not just me, like this is not cope, this is not anything that just me to reconcile this crazy situation. I heard it from two sources that I trust. There was a lot of internal debate on this, whether or not like both of them, I don't know where they get their, well, I know where one of them is getting the information from, but like, well, how long is that going for? How old was that information? Was that beef settled? Because they have been quiet, remarkably quiet for a very long time.
Where's the ABK games?
Well, the ABK games, to a certain degree, I can understand why they've stayed mum, because they just let go of like nearly 2,000 people. So the timing of that, they need to give a little bit of a buffer period before the staff are not happy with Microsoft.
Like the retro games would drop in January. They'll drop a handful of them.
Yeah, then so something's happening there. The 2,000 staff layoffs is a big one. So, hey man, Xbox started 2024 in a crazy way, man. Letting go of their staff that they valued so much, and well,
I mean, the majority of them were top-end seniors, right? Like the marketing, the PR department. They probably should have kept those and got rid of the Microsoft ones because they clearly don't know what they're doing, and maybe the ABK ones actually do. But you know, when you're
Yeah.
looking at the finance department, the HR department, the marketing department, PR side of things, you know, there's a lot of things, you know, departments that Activision had, Blizzard had, even probably King had. Those probably equate to over 1,000 staff on their own. I'd probably say about 1.2, 1.3K on their own. So I'd say a lot of people that got laid off were probably those being made redundant because of those positions still existing. And after Odyssey got let go, I think they had like what 200-300 people working in that division. Once that, and they were hired for that specific purpose. I think Matt said that they tried to get as many as they could into other areas, but you know, at least 250 there was gone as well. So you're already at what 1,600 on average, and then the other 300 came from Toys for Bob and Sledgehammer. And
let's not forget that we knew that once the ABK deal went through, there were going to be layoffs. We just didn't know how much from who and from which departments.
The same with any merger, man. You get a lot of what's the word for it? Oh, can't remember the word for it now. There's a lot of overlap between the jobs.
Yeah.
Redundancy.
Yeah.
Panforia says, as I said, I'm a glorified Sony pony. I'm not gonna tox or laugh. I'm worried about competition because it will make Sony lazy. Dark times in gaming. That's the biggest problem, right? Because
this
we've
is what I was saying.
seen what a lazy
Jaffe's show
Sony looks like. A lazy Sony is the PS3.
Yeah, the lazy Sony is the PS5 right now and is relying on the same model, and it's trying to change it though in many ways with the gas pivot. But even that's coming up cross challenges. But you know, Panthorius is right. We've been saying this. I was saying on the Jaffe show. He doesn't agree with me. I'm like, is Sony going to be more or less relaxed than this is happening? And I think the answer is obviously less relaxed. They don't have to worry about this big giant now buying up all this stuff and getting experiences to its fan base that they can't get. They're going to have them on their thing, fine. So, like, in one sense, it's going to be absolutely. Now they will charge you your $90 or $80. They will chop up those games. If I'm Sony, I'll be like, yo, wait for this to be announced. But if this is true, and obviously they probably know because they'll have conversations in the background. But they'll be like, well, you get prime that stuff. Now we're truly a monopoly in this space. We're going to really ramp up everything. We have a primary competitor has bowed out. And Jaffe will be like, no, but Game Pass is the competitor. Shut the fuck up, Jackie.
I mean, it won't bring people over. I do not see it bringing anyone over to Xbox. But at the same time, all this is doing is strengthening the PlayStation console and it's strengthening Sony. So how much will PlayStation 6 cost? 1,000? 1,200?
I don't know. I don't know how this thing's going to pan out. It's very interesting surface.
You know, with the power that they're going to have, they're going to pretty much be the only console to be, right?
Yeah.
If all the games are going there. Peter Over is saying, if these rumors are fake, then Xbox must debunk them this week. He means tomorrow. And debunk Jez Corden, Xbox era, Steven Taylor, Tom Warren, Tim Dog. Shinobi. Tim Dog went for Shinobi like crazy, man.
I don't know what was going on with that, but yeah, like that's an unhealthy level.
Shinobi was the one that released it first. Released that.
Yeah, well, I don't know why he's taking out Shinobi. He's just reporting the news, for God's sake. Shinobi's blocked me. He's a bit of a PlayStation guy. Everyone knows that. But yeah, it's just a bit crazy.
I mean, look what he's saying. Blade Day 1 on PS5, PS6, and Xbox.
Who said that?
Tim.
Oh, Tim Dog. Oh, yeah, I see his tweet. Blade Day 1 on PS5, PlayStation's possible. Which platform will you get it on? Holy shit. The console wars are coming to an end and the platform wars are beginning. But
well, I mean, I remember watching one of your shows not too long ago when you were talking about the whole cloud system and how you were saying it's not going to be a console war anymore. It's going to be a platform war.
Mm-hmm.
So,
that's what's coming to fruition.
I mean, I think it's got like 10 years, maybe 15. I mean, the Ubisoft deal has what, 15 years? They've got a 15-year deal that the CMA put in place with Ubisoft to control the Microsoft cloud infrastructure. But once that 15 years is up, that reverts back to Microsoft's control. The 10-year exclusivity, 10-year parity deal that they have with Call of Duty will end during that period as well. Although under oath, Phil did say that Call of Duty will be on PlayStation for all eternity. That's never going to change. As long as there's a PlayStation, he said, there will be a Call of Duty. So they are always going to get it. But the parity deal doesn't need to be a thing. But I think, as you said earlier as well, they've kind of decided to go into that cloud stuff a little too soon because they're not ready. Their infrastructure isn't ready. They're not ready on a global scale. I think if they did this in 10 years' time, when everything would be pretty much on its way to be, set
homogenized, yeah,
globally, I think that would have been a good point. But now it's just way too early. It doesn't make sense.
I mean, it really is a sign of how much Microsoft is suffering in the console space. This is Satya Nadella's design, so let's see what happens. Remember, things can change. If that changes, that'll be very intriguing as well.
Do you ever watch football?
I don't watch football.
You don't watch football, so you never saw Kenny Dalglish's thing.
You know who that is?
He was the old Newcastle manager, and back then Man United were about to win the title, and they needed to lose to someone, and Newcastle needed to win, and he lost his shit. Oh, yeah. But he said he basically went on record in a really, really enigmatic way, saying that if that happens and Newcastle win it, he will love it, absolutely love it. And if they come out tomorrow and say, hey, none of this shit is happening, we've heard what you're saying, it's not happening, that is going to be the greatest U-turn of all time.
A U-turn that didn't even need to happen, because if Microsoft was in control of its communications, then this would never happen anyway.
Communication.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing. I'm very intrigued to see how this play out, because you cannot ignore, like, on the one hand, the scale of this. I know about Hellblade. Like, okay, well, there's a working PlayStation 5 version, but does that mean that they're going to release it, or they're just doing it for testing? I don't know. But like, that is it really a case of just turning off a switch and then U-turning it?
I mean,
or
they can do that. They can easily do that. There's no reason why they can't. I mean, if they're seeing how much of a negative impact this is having on the community and how much bad PR they're getting, I can easily see this doing that. Panforia says scalpers will get their hands on PS5 Pro and PS6 before the fans and sell them for 1,000. Wonder if Sony will make a bad move like this in the future. You can't stop scalpers, man.
Yeah, scalpers will always find a way. We always find a way. Yeah, but there'll be a lot more scalpels now though, because Xbox have no reason to buy a freaking Xbox. Go buy a thingy and just get Game Pass. Get PC, man. In any way, like if you want the most, like, if you can afford one.
But do you still think Game Pass still has value?
Yeah, of course. There's nothing like it.
And that's what I was saying. I mean, even if this is happening, at the end of the day, as an Xbox user or a PC user, if you're playing through PC Game Pass, nothing for you really changes.
Yeah.
You still get your games day and date. I hate to, paraphrase what Paris is saying, because this is what he said and he got a lot of shit for it. So don't kill me, chat. But for you as a gamer, nothing will change if you still have Game Pass. But it does diminish the console a lot.
Yeah, no, it really does. Don't waste your money on an Xbox, I would say, if you can buy a PC. Or if you like me, I kind of got off PC because I wanted to chill on console,
I mean, that's
the simplicity of it. Yeah, I've got both as well. My PC is just 2070. It's just getting older. I need to get a 4090 because I need to use After Effects for a lot of my shit that I want to do on YouTube. So, like, it's going to be an interesting one. I'm not going to lie. I am enjoying the Fallout as well, because I'm just like, you guys came at me for so hard. And you guys were so soft with Microsoft. So soft with Microsoft.
I mean, I wasn't.
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying you.
Yeah,
as
I
in
know who
generally.
you're talking about.
Yeah.
People in general, yeah.
The
Yeah, people in general.
really pro Xbox.
The really ones, like, they got galvanized by these weird statements and stuff, and I was just like, all right, okay, where's the actual constructive critique going to come in? Because I should not be getting this much blowback for saying, Xbox, you fucked up in 2022, and then you come at me, and when Phil Spencer comes in and says the exact same thing I do, and then apologizes profusely, only then do you take notice, and I'm like, all right, okay. This is the problem with the Xbox community. They evangelize it too much, and
I mean,
you know, now it's changed. Now
it's what
Xbox.
I call if I'm within the Genshin Impact community, I used to play it, but I haven't played it in donkeys. But I still keep track of what's going on there, and they've got like Hoyoverse is like 2 games at the moment. They've got Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail. And Honkai Star Rail seems to be getting all the like freebies and stuff, like free temples, free 5-star characters. But when it comes to Genshin, they for 3-year service of sticking to the game and spending millions and millions of bucks on the game, they gave you 3 wishes, 3 single pulls as a thank you, which is it's the biggest slap in the face if you've been playing that game for 3 years. But what they have over there is what I call a 1-to-1 replica of what you have here. It's toxic positivity. People don't realize that positivity can be toxic. It can be very, very toxic. And if you say anything bad about, something, a brand that actually does need critiquing, it's you've got the whole hound on you.
Yeah, well, look at them now, though. They're all going crazy. Everyone is losing their shit. And now let's see how Microsoft approach it. This should be a stark warning for anyone, even if the news says somehow gets reversed. You need to understand these executives are not really your friends. You may be actually friends with them in party chat and whatever. Like, I've always somehow managed to miss Phil Spencer in party chat. He probably doesn't want to chill with me there anyway, when he's talking to Cole Eastwood, because I'll just literally grill him for like half of it. Like,
probably do the same.
Yeah, but like, let's see what happens.
Alex and Frit right with? I mean, I'm seeing a lot of people in chat saying Alex and Frit were right.
About what? What were they right about?
I don't know.
About going to PC, you mean? Yeah. I mean, I was PC last gen. I just tastes. I just couldn't be asked. The reason why
I
is
could always talk to Alex about that one.
What's that? Sorry.
I said I could always talk to Alex about whatever they were right about.
Oh yeah, I'm actually messaging Frit right now because he's asking me about my sources on some stuff. He's just left me a voice note. I'm just listening to. But yeah, he's like Frit's so pessimistic about it. He's just left me a voice note. It's just like he's been burnt so many times. But
I just don't blame people right now for being disheartened and just being so upset. I mean, you can't.
So while you're waiting for a response from Frit, guys, I got a question for you though. With everything that's been going on about Starfield getting released, Redfall getting released, and everything Microsoft getting released, and all this controversy about the Metacritic scores, and everybody from the PlayStation community over on Twitter basically shitting on the entirety of Xbox lineup and saying the Xbox Direct was mid and the PlayStation State of Play, which we know wasn't very good, they're trying to hype it up saying it's better. With all the negativity towards Xbox, and now they're talking about games going to the PlayStation, what's your thoughts on how they should respond given the negative response of games when now people are flip-flopping saying, oh, now that it's coming to PlayStation, we're going to hype it up to hell?
I mean, that's to be expected though, right? They're always going to do that. Now, I mean, if you look at Nicola, he's claiming that he was right. He's vindicated when he said that he will play Starfield when it comes to PS5.
I mean, absolutely, unintentionally, but he is absolutely. He deserves his flowers, man. Like, he was right, and we mocked him for that. as a result of Microsoft's recent U-turn. Otherwise, they wouldn't have Sarah Bond go on stage saying,
Starfield on
yes, it's
PS5 will be a
exclusive.
93 Metacritic.
Yeah.
Now that it's on
That's pretty-
PlayStation, yeah. And
yeah,
it's fixed,
probably.
right? Because by September, I think if it's gonna land, it's gonna land in September next year or this year.
Whatever the
it's gonna be very
expansion is.
fixed. And that's the other thing
Yeah.
now. What do you think of that notion? Because I'm seeing that a lot now on social media. The Xbox gamers are now beta testers for PlayStation.
Yeah, we'll let them say that. They're kind of correct. Well, to a certain degree. I mean, it's console
If
wars
the games
stuff.
do start going to PlayStation, then absolutely, yeah.
Your
Then they'd
Starfield
be
gets
right.
the refined.
No
yeah, you're
way.
right. Exactly. Imagine if Starfield comes out and has all the mod support day one on PlayStation. It's just like.
She didn't do that, did she, yesterday? There is no way she did that.
What?
Apparently, Sarah Bond yesterday tweeted that 2024 is going to be a great year for Xbox. There's no way. There's just no way. The battle begins with Jujutsu Kaisen. No, I don't see it. There. That was Xbox Wire, but yeah, she actually retweeted it. 2024 is going to be a great year for Xbox players. New ideas, long-awaited sequels, incredible exclusives. What?
Joanna Fairies has followed me now. I don't know why.
That name
She's
sounds
the.
familiar.
She took over Thingy's job, Mikey Barrett.
Yes.
Yeah. She might be reaching out to me because, Gaz, can we do some PR? I'm like, nope. Burn, motherfuckers. No. Yeah. So let's see.
She's talking.
Let's see
They're talking about exclusives, and she's going games fire. 2024 is going to be a great year for Xbox players. New ideas, long-awaited sequels, incredible exclusives. But we don't have exclusives anymore because they're all going.
Oh, what's Microsoft's idea of an exclusive? That's the thing.
Maybe the timed exclusivity is the whole thing, right?
I mean, even if it's timed, that's the problem. No one is suggesting it's day and date. You're getting rid of exclusives. You're already working to see. Look, chat. He's going through this 5 stages already. He's coming to reconcile. Hey, man, it's timed, so that's okay.
Hey, I'm not saying that's okay. No.
I'm playing. Still gonna get in the chat to go after you.
I'm not that far gone. I need to actually see Sarah Bond or Phil Spencer come out and say this shit is real. It's happening. This is our plan, and then I'll start going through my 5 stages. Then you'll see it all over social media where I'm going through my 5 stages. But until that point, I'm not there yet.
Oh man, my stages are rage, and they'll stay in that rage for a while because holy shit, it's not good. Yeah,
but man, talking about exclusives and then 3 days later, yeah, you guys suckers. It's like I don't understand why people still are thinking Genshin is going to Switch. Sony's made that exclusive to their platform.
yeah.
Weird people.
Is it okay if I buy out?
Yeah. Thanks so much for coming on. I appreciate it's late, and it is Sunday, so it's like 2 a.m. for you now. Well,
yeah,
1:23.
Yeah.
So thank you so much
Nice
for
talking with you, guys.
hanging out.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Nice chatting to you, Power Boss. Thank you, everyone in chat. And yeah,
I'll catch you next time, dude.
take care. Peace.
All right. That was a pretty interesting debate, conversation, but I think there's still a good chance that, well, I won't say a good chance. I still say there's a chance that they're going to come out and say that this is all bogus. It's not a very big chance, though. It's a small chance.
So much for a
It's
short
not gonna
stream,
be
right?
tomorrow. It's not going to be next week.
What's that?
Xbox ain't going to come out tomorrow, and they ain't going to come out with anything next week.
Oh, no. They need to come out tomorrow. They need to come out and deal with this shitstorm. Like, they need to come out soon. I mean, if they don't come out this week, they are having serious problems.
It's not going to happen, in my opinion.
You don't think so?
No. They've never done it before. So
You know what? I'm going to do a quick poll. before I
if they
finish.
don't, if they don't come out tomorrow and say, yay or nay to all these rumors, I do see them tomorrow coming out and at least saying on a date that they are going to address all these rumors, pro
Yeah,
or
that's the
con.
most they'll do. That's the most they'll do.
Yeah, I don't see them actually saying, "Hey, this is definite."
All right, here we go. There's a poll. Let's go. That's the final poll of tonight. Someone tagged me. Hold on, let me see who tagged me. Panforia says, but as you said, you got sources, so I know your chest is pounding hard with anger. I mean, I'm upset. Unless he wasn't talking to me. All PlayStation first-party games are going to Xbox and PC date. Wouldn't that be fun? Yeah, Sony will give it up to I mean, I think eventually Sony's going to go day one PC as well. That's going to happen.
They are going to go day and date.
That's going to happen. But there's no way on earth that they're going to put their games onto other platforms.
Okay, here's something that I want to bring up real quick. Okay, Xbox Era tweeted out the whole exclusive Microsoft planned Starfield release for PlayStation 5, and then it was quote tweeted by just one PlayStation guy I know, but this is the sentiment that I am seeing from every single PlayStation fanboy, at least on Twitter. And God knows how many of the generic PlayStation public is agreeing with this type of sentiment. He says, "We won. Don't worry. I still won't buy this trash. So why bring it over to their platform? It's not going to be bought there. So why? It's just going to be a waste of money
because they are going to buy it.
Making the port."
The only reason
There
Starfield was
will be
shat
some.
on. No, the only reason Starfield was shat on was because it was it was an Xbox exclusive. If that game was a PlayStation 5 exclusive, they would have been singing its praise from the high heavens, and it would have sold loads on PlayStation. The only reason people shat on that game is because it was an Xbox exclusive, and there is no one out there that can convince me otherwise. And a lot of these games that get shat on are because they are Xbox exclusive. The reality is there are more PS fans out there than there are Xbox fans. They will outnumber you. But that is the primary reason why the games get just shat on. Because they want the game on PlayStation. You see so many people right now crying when Indiana Jones was announced as an Xbox exclusive, saying, I want this on PlayStation. Why aren't you releasing this on PlayStation? And the reality is, they want it. But if it doesn't come, when the review comes, the user scores are going to get review bombed. It's just the way it is. But if it releases on PlayStation, it's going to sell. But what would be funny is if what you said happened and it didn't sell. I can see everybody now cancelling the Ultimate Game Pass. Indiana Jones will be. One guy doesn't share the same sentiment as everyone. Dude is clueless. I'm clueless? I'm not sure. TheChaosLounge, not worth being upset over. Only change in my life will be blocking toxic PS fanboys. Oh, I'm not upset. I'm not upset, dude. I'm not upset. I'm just... It's late. It's, well, Diablo, you know what time it was when I was watching Alex's stream yesterday? Oh, right, Jack. Okay, cool. A reminder that it's a show. End of the day, we don't really know. Exactly. That's the point, Susanna. And I think people need to think. Steam Deck streamlines everything for you. Starfield was shat on because it was an Xbox 100%. There you go.
I think Jack was talking about me, not you.
Oh, fair enough. I don't even know what you did.
But talking about the generic Eric and the whole sentiment of PlayStation fans, but I'm seeing it from more of the big, PlayStation voices over on Twitter. Yeah, I know it's only one person here and there. King Thrash is saying it. Red Dragon's saying it.
Yeah, but those are...
I've seen so many on the PlayStation side.
Look. Hyped, Unleashed, King Thrash, Red Dragon, Eric. These people are way gone. Those people,
J-Dub.
you know, J-Dub as well. I don't listen to a single word they say because they chat a whole bunch of shit. I mean, today he was trying to argue with Brian, Ginger Prime, and he got schooled by fucking Ginger Prime. And then he had to leave the conversation on Twitter. Right? Let me see if I can find it. My dude got schooled like there was no tomorrow. Replies. Let me see. Go. Is this it? Yeah, here we go. King Trash said gamers could always game though. If anything, Microsoft is responsible for less gamers gaming. And so Brian says, I would love for you to back that statement up with some facts. Genuinely curious. They started the paywall for multiplayer games. They had a paywall for free-to-play games. And so Brian says, how did that lead to less gamers gaming? And that also highlights how competition is good for gamers. Plus, by that logic, the PS3 online system was awful. And because of competition from Xbox 360, Sony worked hard on PS4, which also charges for online. So basically, does this mean PlayStation 4 is making less people play? And he says, dude, what data does he have to back this up? This sounds like a trust me bro scenario here. There are less people gaming because of what Xbox Live did. Did he miss the part that gaming industry has grown exponentially? And this was my response. That is King Fresh's source right there.
I mean, everything out of King Thrash's mouth is.
But this is what I'm saying. If you're looking at those players, they're going to jump on this, piggyback off this, and they're going to kind of just shit all over everything the moment they get a chance. Don't listen to anything they say. These people have Xboxes. They've got Game Pass. The Red Dragon has Game Pass. He got Starfield through Game Pass. So the reality is they're all frauds. They will all get the games. They all play the games. They're all frauds. Who is listening to a moron that doesn't know basic physics? You know? But I think this...
Who said that Avowed is 30 FPS?
Avowed won't be 30 FPS. What we saw was 60. But even then, we are seeing more and more games coming to this current generation of consoles that are running at 30 FPS. Dragon's Dogma is a prime example. I'm really curious to see how Final Fantasy Rebirth is going to run. If that's going to be 30 or 60 FPS. But the more demanding games that are coming now,
That's 60.
You know, the current generation of consoles are starting to struggle. If you want to play games like 60 FPS always, you go PC.
I will say that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is going to run 60 because of the added ability that you can play it as the original turn-based style in addition to the action style of the new ways. So that is going to be 60 FPS.
1080 60? I mean, I guess if it's running at 1080p, yeah. But this is the thing. Like, what game was it that had to, in order for it to maintain 60 FPS, had to drop down to less than 1080p? I think it dropped down to 1000 resolution. So it actually dropped below 1080p resolution, and it just got upscaled to for whatever resolution you're running your TV at. Was it Jedi Survivor? There you go. Like, that's crazy. The fact that a game, in order to maintain 60, had to drop down to like, 900p, 1000p. And, this is what FSR and DLSS do. That's their primary job. Final Fantasy 16, did. Yeah, Final Fantasy 16 did drop to 720p. So, like, what are we doing here? Like, do we want a game at those low resolutions, or are we happy for the graphics to be toned down a little bit so we can maintain those graphics or maintain the frame rate and at least have a decent resolution? Wonder if Jim Ryan knew this in advance to cash in his stocks. It's a good possibility, Panforius. That Dreamcast
Furious
guy's loving
Legacy.
this.
there's going to at least be one more Xbox console, and that's going to be an all digital version like they had planned. What it's going to entail as far as
that's
specs
rumored.
is what we don't know. Well, no, because it was in the ABK leaks. We don't know if it's been scrapped or not.
That's been scrapped. The Brooklyn's been scrapped. That was scrapped ages ago. That was supposed to be the refresh, and they said they're not doing a refresh. They've scrapped the refresh. So, unless that's changed over the last 2 years, that's not happening. Jedi was running at 640p. Holy shit. But do you see what I mean? You don't want to be running at that. Yeah, it was scrapped. That was the prototype from 2019 I was on about. So it was scrapped. Yeah, it was. Whether they're doing something different now is unknown. I mean, it makes perfect sense for their next console in 26, 27 to be full digital because that is what they want. But, you know, time will tell. Agreed. Also, do you guys think Game Pass is coming to PlayStation and Nintendo anytime soon? No. Game Pass will not go to those platforms because they will lose a shit ton of money. And they do not want to do that.
Plus, in the ABK, they did say in one of the leaked documents that they did ask for Game Pass to go on their platforms, and both PlayStation and Nintendo refused. So don't forget about that also.
Panfora says, shareholders in the gaming industry is probably shaking up hard. Anyone got stocks? Better check in. Yeah, because this is either going to crash Microsoft stocks. I mean, when I say crash, you're going to lose some money, or it's going to push them up, depending on how people are looking at it. If you're looking at it from a business perspective, this can bring you a lot of money. If you're looking at it from a fanboy perspective, this is the worst thing that could possibly happen. So it is what it is. But chat, it is 1:30 in the morning. I said I was going to stream an hour. It's been 2.5 hours, so I wasn't far off.
So much for that.
I wasn't far off, right, Steve?
Yeah, man.
So I think I'm going to call it there because I do need to get some sleep because I have got work tomorrow. But I do want to thank everyone for turning up tonight. It's been amazing. We had actually quite a lot of people in here tonight. Thank you for the super chats and the re-memberships. They are always appreciated. And my normal schedule time is for Tuesday to stream. But if something happens tomorrow, I will stream tomorrow as well. And I'll try and get a video up with, a little bit more concerted thoughts about what's going on here. I'm going to scrap the other 2 videos because there's no point in them now that we've had this. But I'll kind of put all of this into one thing, give my thoughts, and see if I can get that out for around midday tomorrow and see how it goes. Right, everyone, that's it. Thanks so much. Have a good night, and I'll see you in the next one. As always, remain legend. Peace out. Have a good night, folks.